This is Haberman, back with another episode of Hab, Bag, and Tag. As always, I am Hab, joined by Bag.
Bag on chat. That's me.
Yeah. And Tag. So let's move on to our, first of all, before we start with what we've been playing, because Jesus Christ, I don't know about you guys, I played a lot. I played a fucking lot. This episode's gonna go over 2 hours.
Yeah.
This episode is gonna go over
Spoiler
2
warning.
hours. Spoiler alert, in case you didn't tell from looking at the time code, this episode's gonna go long.
Why'd you jinx it? We don't know how long. This could be a 40-minute episode.
I don't know, because
We could fly through all of these games and videos and all these news. We could just rapid fire through them. Lightning round right off the bat. What's this? What's this in the show notes?
oh, okay. So before we get onto like all the video game stuff, because we are a video game podcast after all, I want to talk about a recent discovery of mine, which is a Spider-Man, which is the Japanese version of Spider-Man from the 70s.
Is that the one where he has like an MP40
No,
and
okay.
he shoots people?
Here's the similarities he has with the original Marvel Spider-Man. He can climb the walls.
Okay.
He knows how to make the web stuff and shoot it, and he wears the Spider-Man outfit.
So far, so Trisha. Yes.
Nothing else. The
Okay.
main villains are from out of space. He got his powers from an alien who's
Well,
from the Spider Planet.
Like the symbiote, because that's still canon.
No. It's a man, an actual man who gave him the powers. He's like, I'm dying now. I'm gonna give my powers onto you. And
So
now,
like a Green Lantern thing?
yeah, more
Like a
Green Lantern.
Corps?
And he's fighting these aliens. And like the main guy is like name is literally like Professor Evil or something stupid like that. And like they're aliens. Like, but they don't look like aliens. One of them's just like a man with like a big helmet, and the other one is kind of not an old woman, but probably too old to be acting in this kind of role.
Right.
And he has a giant robot called Leopard, and that transforms into like this big fin, and he fights monsters.
This sounds okay. This sounds
And-
all right. But I know a bootleg Spider-Man bullshit that tops this, also from the 70s.
I just want to mention though, I could be wrong about this, but at one point, I hope this is still true. All of the episodes are available to stream on Marvel's website.
Great.
If you want to watch Japanese
I do not think Marvel has 3 Dev Adam available to stream, which was a Turkish film from 1973 starring Captain America, Spider-Man, and
Santo.
who is just a Mexican wrestler type, like a lucha libre wrestler. By the way, Spider-Man is the villain and is a criminal mastermind who brutally murders a woman in the first 2-3 minutes of the film using a boat propeller.
Finally.
He also has infinite clones of himself, who every
Jesus.
time he gets killed, just immediately respawns seconds later.
This kind
And-
of like not Spider-Man, but little elements you're saying remind me of Japanese Spider-Man. Because
It's pretty incredible, and
I don't know, Japanese Spider-Man's pretty good. His villains are
This is really good.
but the villains, so the henchmen are people in like grey bodysuits, and they have like fake duck bills on their face, but they don't quack. And when they move around,
well then, what? They don't quack? What the hell? is up
no,
with
they
that?
don't. Well, they're from
It's
space.
not like Spider-Man at all. When I watch Spider-Man, read Spider-Man, whatever, when I consume Spider-Man, like the media it is, I expect my villains to quack. And that's what separates it from Spider-Man in my mind. That's the distinction you gotta make.
But it's very clear that this show did not have a lot of budget, because like the way this is edited is just like we used all the footage we had, but we did not have enough.
Oops.
Just like for some reason, so the way when the villains are like charging towards Spider-Man, they'll run up and then it'll cut and they'll just do a backflip and then they'll run up further. And that's like how the fight scenes are kind of done, where they just constantly like cut, and that's how they clone them. And just like harsh cuts. And all Spider-Man really does is just makes them like do like combat rolls out the way. He just like cartwheels the enemies away. And then he like climbs up a building. And it's clear that they had like one day that they had hired some stuntman who was like, yeah, dude, I can climb buildings. Because there's like one episode, it's during the day, and you can just see this guy off in the distance in a Spider-Man suit, like just climbing up this building. and then there's another episode where it's night, so they just darken the footage. It's like, oh yeah, he's climbing up, and it's night now. it's
the
amazing.
70s.
I don't know. There's some like 70s shows from back then that aren't as cheap as that looked.
Let's
that's
move
amazing.
on. That's Spider-Man talk.
Yeah,
that's your daily dose of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We bring it to you. We're known here
Daily
for...
Bugle Dose Trios. Fuck that.
Get me some movies about Spider-Man, says J.
Yeah.
Jonah Jameson. Get me some pictures of Turkish Spider-Man and Japanese Spider-Man. Thank you! Comic books,
Good night.
we read them, we know them, you love them, you fucking nerds. You know what else you fucking nerds love? Video games, probably. So what have we been playing?
Hey, alright there, Dave.
ああ、太郎くん。
So you want to talk about some video games for a while?
今日はあなたに告白するためにここに来ました。
What the bloody hell are you saying? I can't fucking understand you.
愛してる。
Really, Dave?
今夜は泣かさないよ。
Okay then, fella.
ああ、行くぞー。
Oh bloody heck, I just wanted to talk about video games for a while.
Are we... Are we ever gonna get a translation for that?
I have no idea what that guy's saying.
Great! Okay, great! So...
What video games you been playing?
Oh god, too many. I've played too many games. We space these things out over the course of like a month. We've been trying to be consistent with that. For the past month. For some reason, I just played a fucking ton of video games. I have on my list here Saints Row the 4th and the Bureau XCOM Declassified, because I wrote them at the end of like...
Wait. Saints Row the 4th?
Yes, as I like to call it. That's what it should have been.
No, that's what I like to call it, idiot.
Oh.
Well, great
It's
minds,
Saints Row the
great
4.
minds think alike. So I had those on there because last month, last episode, I said that I would play more of those games and have better formulated opinions on them. I didn't. I forgot about them. I didn't play either of them anymore. I've been meaning to. Saints Row the 4th, Saints Row 4, the most exciting installment in the Saints Row quadrilogy, whatever you want to call it. What was the working title? What was the working title they had?
Enter the
next-
Dominatrix.
No.
The next great sequel in the Saints Row franchise.
Oh yeah, the next great week in this. Yeah.
So I've been meaning to play it.
Should have stuck with it.
XCOM Declassified. I wish there was a way to sell it, because I don't think I'm gonna play it on this.
It's the next great sequel in the Saints Row franchise.
The Bureau
Yes.
XCOM Declassified, the next great sequel in the XCOM franchise. Maybe not so much.
Are we getting paid off by 2K Marin? Why are you saying
I
that?
don't think they have the budget for that. If that game is any indication.
Shut up! If you don't say it, they might.
So what I did play was some SWAT 4 for some reason.
How was that? How was SWAT 4?
SWAT 4 is a good game. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. It's good. It's tactical. It came out
I like
a
when you
decade
taser
ago.
the woman in the face.
That's the highlight. Is the second level where, that game is really good. I was playing it co-op.
No, that makes sense. When SWATs enter into like a hostile situation, they don't know who's a hostile and who's a target.
For all they
or
know,
anything.
it could be like a terrorist in an old lady mask.
Yeah, you remember the Dark Knight?
My favorite parts of the SWAT games was whenever like really terrible shit would happen, and like the guys on there would like report back to them. So like one of the levels, you're in a cult, and they're like burying their children, and then like the guy is like, "Oh, we might have evidence of children being buried," and the guy's like, "What?"
Don't they have a call
Okay.
sign for that?
Yeah, slice the pie and let us know what the call sign for that is. If you are a member of the actual real life SWAT and there's a code for that, please let us know.
Yeah, and
Inquiring
we'll
minds
know
would like
because
to
it'll be. I assume your email address will have SWAT in the name.
coolguy69 at swat.gov. So SWAT 4 is fun, especially when you play co-op. It's just good fun. And some people, I don't really like super tactical games, and people say that SWAT is super tactical, and I've seen more tactical shit. I mean, for a first-person shooter, yeah, it's tactical, but if you want to, you can blitz in and just shoot shit. And communicating stuff back to HQ is as simple as pressing
That's
a
what I
key.
do.
So
That's what I
it's
do.
easy enough. I don't see what the complaints about that are. Game has not aged particularly well. There's no widescreen support, which is probably my biggest gripe with it. Besides the fact that there's no legitimate way of buying it anymore on goodoldgames.com or wherever else. It's been...
You mean you don't own the box copy of SWAT 4?
No, I do. Luckily, I did. I did at some point. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I did own it at some point, but then I lost most of my PC games, my CD-ROMs, a while back. So I had to resort to other means, let's say.
Yeah. So,
But I paid my money for it. I paid my
So
money for
everyone
it.
shed a tear for Hammerman's game collection.
Right. I shouldn't have left it in that shed. I should have known that, the weather out here.
What bag was going to come by?
And just take a piss all over my shed, and all my games are ruined. My whole gaming collection is ruined. My gaming shed is destroyed. Thank you, bag.
How does piss ruin CD-ROMs, Haberman?
It
Well-
depends what you drink.
So, in addition to SWAT 4, we posted the video for Bloodlust Shadowhunter. We'll briefly talk about that later in the latest video section. But playing that inspired me to play a bit of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines again. That's a game that has also not held up particularly well. And I was playing it with some fan patches as well, which presumably would have improved the compatibility, would have, put widescreen support in there, which is much appreciated. Maybe some bug fixes. The widescreen support, yes. Bug fixes, maybe not so much, because that game is junky. It was built on an unfinished version of the Source engine. It was built on an alpha Source engine.
That's just weird because Source has had support for widescreen since the Half-Life 2 leak. So I don't know how
I don't know how they did it then, because I had to manually patch in widescreen supports. So don't ask me. I think it was like 2004 when that game came out. So it was a time where widescreen games were,
Well, the Half-Life 2 leak happened in 2003.
Yeah, and that had widescreen support. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
widescreen.
Playing that game again.
Rest in peace,
Rest in peace.
Troika, whatever who made that game.
Troika. Troika is the developer who made 3 games and died. So call him Tri-Oika, I guess.
Oh,
See what I did there? So that game is gross as shit. That game is fucking gross. You create classes. You create a class at the beginning, and
you reinforce the class divide.
well,
Is that why it's so disgusting?
Well, you pick your race. You pick like what breed of vampire you are. Then you pick what class you are, what your personality type is, I guess. There's one called Slut. So, and the whole goal of that class, the whole purpose of that class is just to seduce everyone. All your stats are lowered except for your ability to seduce people.
Yeah, but you could be a male slut.
Yes, I suppose so. Yes, you can. So that's one thing, and it'd be like, okay, I guess that's like sort of like maybe not the best name for that. Maybe
No.
little ill-advised there, but vampires are known for being.
Is there then a whore class?
Maybe it was.
No, because whore implies money. I've been told. Gigolo's
slut
a
is
good
just
word, but it only applies to males, so I don't know.
So
slut,
let me just make my point here, which is that
okay, all right,
you
all right.
could look at that and be like, oh, that's kind of gross, but maybe it was like a mistranslation, or maybe like they just didn't realize it, or whatever. You can maybe make some poor excuses for that. Then you get into the game, and literally every female character in the game is a slut. Literally everyone, not just vampires, humans.
What, they're part of the class or the race, the slut class?
What I mean to say is that if you walk down the street and you see a female character, they are a prostitute.
Is it a lot like Dracula 2000, which is my favorite interpretation of Dracula?
So
I forgot that was a fucking thing. Jesus.
So Troika Games was a privately held company headquartered in Irvine, California. So where was the mistranslation?
I thought they were Troika is like a Russian name. I thought maybe it was. Russian.
You're thinking of Troitsky.
I'm thinking of Trotsky.
Yeah.
So that game was kind of unsettlingly gross to play for an extended period of time. And you know what? from what I remember, because when I played it the first time, it was like 2004, 2005, or wherever it came out. And now playing it now and being a little more, let's say, socially conscious, it's sort of abhorrent. It's really gross. It's not even riding the line. It jumps over it. It dives right into being like gross scum. And, you know, vampires, I guess, in history are sort of known, like, you know, Carmilla, which is one of the most famous, most popular vampire novels of all time, second only to Dracula, I'd say, is about a lady vampire who's like, who likes to flaunt her stuff, who likes to be sort of slutty, and I guess that's where it could be derived from, potentially. But I don't know. The game takes place in modern times. You'd think that they would have adapted. They would be, you know, maybe a little more conscious about that. But that's enough talk about a game that came out, let's say, 10 years ago, right? Close to it at this point. Whatever. That developer's not
totally
around anymore.
That's totally 10 years.
9, whatever. Close to 10 years, let's say. Maybe someone's listening to this in 2014, and now we're appealing directly to them.
No fucking chance.
I guess a point I can make here is that it's sort of weird to look back on games I used to enjoy with a more critical eye now, knowing things, being a bit of a better person, and being like, oh, that's kind of gross, kind of weird.
Yeah, I know. When you said a different person, I thought you meant not a piece of shit.
Yeah, basically.
What you've been for the past couple of years I've known you.
Yeah, well,
just terrible person.
Just a piece of shit. Speaking of pieces of shit, I also played some Aliens Colonial Marines. And Tag, you also played a bit of this with me. We played in a group of 4 people.
Not with me, thank you.
I had not played Aliens Colonial Marines prior to this. It was on sale for $5 on Steam for like a weekend. Something like that. Mm-hmm. That was our excuse. So we went in as a 4-person co-op team. And, yeah. I can see
the game is even less scarier when you have 3 other guys
who are all dicking around and trying to break the game simultaneously, which we found a pretty great way of doing it. This is a problem that we ran into, and I talked to other people about this, and they said they never ran into this, but this is the problem we ran into, which pretty much really took the wind out of our sails, kind of spoiled the whole run for us. So, okay, you know how they have like the signature weapons, like, you know, here's Hicks's shotgun. Or, you know, they have, like, the weapons from the movie, and they're collectibles.
Please don't talk about Hicks's shotgun.
I'm going to talk about Hicks's shotgun. So you can find these weapons, and you pick them up, and you put them in your inventory. And, you know, usually in a first-person shooter, the modern trope is that once you pick up a weapon, you drop the one you were holding. You can only hold, like, 2 weapons at a time, and you switch between them. But then you can, like, pick up the gun, because it'll be on the ground. It'll be like a world model, and you can pick it back up, keep swapping them out if you want to. Play catch with the ground or whatever. And just swap out weapons to your heart's content. So you start off with an assault rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. That's your starting loadout. What all 4 of us did was we found the gun, and we're like, oh yeah, Hicks's shotgun, let's pick it up. It's going to be like an improvement over the shotgun, so we'll pick it up. And, you know, I had my assault rifle out when I picked it up, and I assume everyone else did too, because the standard shotgun was fucking useless. And as soon as we picked up Hicks's shotgun, it replaced our assault rifle, yes, and we're like, oh, whoops, we have 2 shotguns now, better pick up the assault rifle. Except the assault rifle was nowhere to be found. Because as soon as we had picked up Hicks's shotgun, it had deleted the assault rifle from the game world.
That's scary, man.
As in there was no way to pick it back up. And we're like, oh, shit, I guess we're stuck with 2 shotguns now. So whatever, we'll find another gun later. We didn't find any more guns in the game, ever. We played for 4 more levels, I think. 4 more chapters, whatever you want to call them, out of the total 9. And we never found any more guns we could pick up. We played through all of those levels with 2 shotguns and a useless pistol as all of our inventory. It was basically unplayable. We had no long-range or medium-range option. We had to take everyone at close quarters because all we had were fucking shotguns because there was nothing else. We were killing the human enemies who were supposed to drop guns, but we couldn't pick them up. And this affected all of us. And by the way, we also quit the game at some point, then came back to it like weeks later and started up a new campaign, and we still had the fucking shotguns and nothing but the shotguns. And then we gave up. And that's about the time we gave up.
So, what you're telling me is that Game of the Year,
Game of the Year.
Shotgun of the Year.
Shotgun of the Year. Hicks's shotgun. Spike TV, get on that. If, the shotgun from GTA 5 gets nominated, it should just be a category all its own. Hicks' shotgun, Hicks' shotgun, Hicks' shotgun. Who's going to win? Hicks' shotgun.
Oh, dip.
Anything else would be
Best
nice.
Hicks' shotgun.
The best Hicks' shotgun goes to Alien Colonial Marines
For Hicks' shotgun.
for the riot gun. So that's Alien Colonial Marines. Don't play it. That's not a good game. Don't ask me to LP it, because not gonna happen. Another game I played, because Jesus fuck, I still have games that I've been playing. I started fucking around with Rogue Legacy, which is a endearing indie platformer with 8-bit graphics, or not 8-bit, more like 16-bit, I guess.
Yeah.
But like pixely graphics. And it incorporates roguelike elements. And I've been playing it on my laptop, which, by the way, my laptop's fucking dying. I gotta get a new one in the near future, but I'm counting the days on it. I'm counting the spins left on that hard drive before it completely collapses on itself. But I've been playing Rogue Legacy on it as best as I can. Because that's the sort of game I define as like a laptop game. Games like that, like an FTL, Faster Than Light. Just games like that I can run in a window, not have to listen to the sound. That I can like have open while I'm, let's say, in class at college, which is where
I call that an iPad game.
Well, that's because you own an iPad. I'm playing it on a laptop, and I don't think Rogue Legacy is on the iPad. I think that's a PC-only release at this point. So,
I'm
Yeah.
gonna look it up on my iPhone right now.
I've been playing it. It's kind of fun. It's all right. It plays like a DS Castlevania game, I guess, but with roguelike elements. I was thinking mostly Order of Ecclesia, because there's even there's a lady character that they have randomly generated characters that you pick from.
lady character.
Every time you die, you get like 3 characters. You can choose like who's your heir to the character you just played as who died, and you'll get the stats and inventory will carry over to that character. But there'll be like 3 randomly generated characters with different traits and stuff. And one of the names that always pops up is Shinoa, who is the lead lady in Order of Ecclesia. And I played through Order of Ecclesia. I beat that game. I beat it on the hardest difficulty. One of my greatest accomplishments as a gamer, I want to say, is there is a game mode in that game which caps you at level 1.
Yeah.
Where it takes out any leveling up whatsoever. And so by the end of that, you're dying in one hit to anything at any moment in time.
What about like damage though? That was the thing I was always curious about. Cause
oh no, your
the worry
damage
there-
barely scales.
Yeah, because the worry there is like you're fighting final bosses and they just take like 10 minutes to kill.
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
basically what it amounted to, and you can't
Oh.
get hit once, otherwise you gotta start the whole thing over. Yeah, that was rough. And this game is about as rough as that, I would say. I keep dying. Platformers aren't my best, but then again, like, they're not my best genre, but then again, I did manage to beat Order of Ecclesia as a level 1. So I can grind it out if I really commit to it. But Rogue Legacy, yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough. I've definitely died. I have like 100 heirs to the throne at this point, and I haven't beaten any of the bosses yet, so I don't know. I'm trying to play it on a laptop keyboard.
Hey man, Rome wasn't built in a day, alright?
I'm trying to play it on a laptop keyboard, trying to build Rome on a laptop keyboard. Bring up a Google, what's the Google Blueprint thing? Where you can like do modeling using like a 3D SketchUp. Rome wasn't sketched up in a day.
Well, yeah, because it didn't exist. Computers weren't there.
How do you know that? Were you there?
Yeah, I was.
I thought we were older than you, but apparently Tags got us beat by thousands of years. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think that game is played best with a controller. Playing it on a laptop has been endless source of frustration, tapping the wrong keys, and yeah, maybe I should just be playing it out with a controller. Maybe I should just.
So when you're at college, maybe you should bring your controller.
I'll bring
with
my
you.
360 controller with me to college, and if the teacher calls on me to answer something, I'll be like, "Not now, teach! I'm fucking leaving a legacy of rogues. Pick up someone else, bitch. Mash that shit."
It's very mean. You wouldn't say that, you bitch.
Yeah, it'd be more like, "I'm sorry. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Sorry."
Hey, teachers are humans too. Gotta treat them with respect. Not too much.
Not just enough. So that game is
Oh,
fine.
I've
I don't
read
like
a
the
news
art at
report in
all.
the paper recently. Very interesting one in a terrible newspaper because it's from this country. So this happened. I don't know when the initial incident happened, but there was a school in the UK where there was like a teacher who was probably in her like mid-20s who ended up getting into a physical relationship with a 17-year-old
This happens.
student.
Yes.
But this article was essentially like an interview with the mother, and this is like about a year later. She did like community service for about a year. He's 18 now. And this article is kind of hilarious because of the way it's written. Is like this mum saying like, look, at one point we thought he was addicted to drugs, and now we wish he was. He's spending all his time with her. He's moved in with her. She shouldn't be with him, and it's like really kind of crazy the way this stuff is written, and it being the kind of paper it's written to her in bias as well.
Yeah,
it's kind of insane.
Like British journalism to me. You
no,
got the bad end, rough end of the stick.
No,
there.
my favorite line I remember is we asked him if he was in love, and he said no. But that's just worse because he's lying to us. And it's like, but he's lying because he knows you don't approve. Look at this rant you made in a newspaper about it.
Speaking of rants, we're going to get some when I mentioned that I'm replaying all of Call of Duty. All of them.
Call of Duty.
All the ones on PC anyway.
And half of them you don't like.
So I started with one, which I couldn't get to run. So that one was quick. That was the quickest one. I started replaying Call of Duty 2, which, you know, some weirdo purists out there still claim is the greatest game in the series and will never be topped.
Is that the one where you start off with in the Russian level you're picking up either a gun or bullets or something?
No, that's Call of Duty 1.
That's one. Okay.
Yeah, Call of Duty 2.
Call of Duty 2 is where you throw potatoes.
Yep. Yes, that's
I've not played that then.
You know, it's fine. It's a fine game, but God, it has not aged well. There are people complain that Call of Duty, the modern ones, are all set pieces. You know, no gameplay, just set pieces, just explosions, and they're wrong because there's plenty of gameplay in there. The Call of Duty 1, 2, no set pieces, nothing fucking happens. It's just waves of enemies and holdouts, and holy Christ, it's fucking boring. The multiplayer is fine. I played a bit of the multiplayer too. The multiplayer, still people playing that.
People are still playing Call of Duty 2?
Yes. I mean, there's no customization in it. It's like Medal of Honor Allied Assault, I still think has better multiplayer. Which, by the way, still people playing Medal of Honor Allied Assault for some reason.
Is that the parachute one?
You're thinking of Medal of Honor, the Paratrooper or something like that. They came out with a Paratrooper version of Medal of Honor before the reboot. I think it was the one direct.
You're thinking of Medal of Honor Advanced Warfighter.
No, it's...
I think you just mean Warfighter.
No, this one was in World War II, and they were all Americans. I remember that.
You're thinking of Medal of Honor Paratrooper.
It's not called that.
It's called Medal of Honor Give me a second. Medal of Honor...
I'll give you a fucking...
Paratrooper. Medal of Honor Paratrooper. Airborne.
Really?
No, Airborne.
Airborne.
Medal of Honor Airborne.
You fucking idiot.
You fucking retard.
Shut up.
You piece of shit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tell me about Call of Duty 3.
There's nothing fucking say about Call of Duty 3. I had that on the Wii. I played Call of Duty 3 on the Wii.
I had it too on the Wii.
It's, that game especially hasn't aged well, but Call of Duty 2 definitely drags in spots. I can understand not having set pieces, that there wasn't their mentality back then, but God, that shooting gets repetitive after a while. And it's just, ugh. It's just the most rote shit. It is the most rote, boring shit.
War is hell, man. It's a simulator.
And the gunplay isn't even the best. The gunplay isn't even the greatest. Some of the guns feel like fucking straight up pea shooters and whatever. Pistols completely useless. Fuck. I don't know. People still want to say that's the best game. I think you need to grow up. I think you need to move on.
Oh, it's got harsh.
So I played
You're a little kid if you don't like this game.
Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare. There are also people who said this is the best Call of Duty. That this will never be topped. That this is the best of the series, the pinnacle, the height
Citizen
of it.
Kane of Call of Duty games.
I would almost agree with that, except for the part where there's an American campaign, which is torture.
We have Griggs.
It's realistic. What do you want?
It's more realistic.
The guy raps.
This is where
that's what it's like. Don't hate. You saying you hate Hab? Are you saying you hate the troops? I'm
saying I hate the mission that the troops are sent on, where they crawl through these boring fucking desert
James
towns.
Haberman, who lives in Brooklyn.
Yes, that's
hates
accurate.
the troops. We've got that on recording.
Thank God.
So,
Obama, get your finger out.
So that game is more or less fine, but God, yeah, those American missions all drag. A lot of the missions, to be fair, you know what? Some of the missions in the British campaign.
But wait,
drag
doesn't
too.
Call of Duty 4 have the rap song made out samples of the black guy at the end?
Are you sure you're not thinking
Yeah.
of Rogue Warrior with Mickey
No,
Rourke?
no,
Mickey
no,
Rourke
no.
is
That's
white.
in the game.
No, there is
That's in
one
the
of the
game.
Call of Duty games has a rap.
I know. Yes, it is. Yes,
Don't be.
it is.
See that was still the best one.
So
I'm
Rogue
sorry.
Warrior ripped
No,
that
it's
shit
it's
off.
not. It's not just samples of. It's actually the voice actor rapping.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
Then there's
and voice
and then there's
samples,
samples of the other voice actors.
Yeah, it cuts in. It goes, "What kind of bloody name is Soap, anyways?"
So it's fine.
Your fruit killing skills remarkable.
It's good.
That's
but
that's why I like Modern Warfare 4 is because every piece of dialogue in that game, brilliant.
So I
I
still
like to
haven't-
keep this for close encounters.
Which is,
Too
by the
right,
way, from
mate.
Aliens. That's a line from Aliens, the movie Aliens. By the
I know,
by.
but with
No,
all
it's from
like
Call of Duty.
British voices and Gaz saying them all.
But yeah, Call of Duty 4 is fine. But if you say it's the best in the series, Jesus Christ.
We've retrieved the package.
so
That's another line from Call of Duty 4.
I still haven't finished it yet in this mission of mine to finish
Get
all
up,
of them
soldier! We are leaving.
You're just gonna keep interrupting me. Okay, let me make it brief then. I haven't finished it yet. Of course, I fucking finished it in the past. I've beaten all these games multiple times, but now I'm just doing them consecutively.
Call of Duty, love it. Haven't played it yet.
Call of Duty 4 is fine, but Jesus Christ.
Swag.
World at War is... I'm not going to look forward to it. I think there's a
Oh,
co-op
no.
campaign in it, which I didn't play the first time through. I played it single player, but I have a friend who tells me that they will play the co-op version of the campaign
I remember
with me.
just playing the multiplayer in that, and the maps were
Bad.
not well
Really
made.
bad. Multiplayer is
They
completely
were like they
broken.
looked interesting, but in terms of like
No, the
map
problem with the
design, they were
multiplayer is that you can't spawn, because as soon as one person gets a kill streak, it's just mortar strikes on spawns and then infinite kill streak chaining. So that game is
Oh.
literally fucking unplayable.
No, the problem I had was just like the actual play map design was just not very good. It was just like it didn't feel like design. It just felt like
Remember, it had
Assets.
vehicles too for some reason
oh, I didn't get that far. Apparently I gave up before then.
in the multiplayer.
Well,
maps, yeah.
everyone came to World at War for the Nazi zombies, right? That's the best part of.
Yeah, I never touched that shit.
Treyarch
I
games.
touched it, and then I said, nope, this isn't for me. Fuck zombie survival wave bullshit, and never looked back. So there's after that, there's Modern Warfare 2, which best in the series. Modern Warfare 2 is the best. Yeah, it is. It is.
That's what he says.
It is the best in the series.
Here's
It
the
has-
thing I'm gonna say, and maybe maybe I'm crazy. I always felt that Modern Warfare 2 felt more ranged, and that's why I didn't like it. It felt more distant. Like all the combat was just like you're picking off targets that are like specks in the distance compared to.
You can get
That's what
up
you do
close
in
if you
Modern
want to. I mean, it's
Well, no,
all.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like overall, like it felt like
It's not really
like the gun
complaint though, is
accuracy.
it? It's just a different style, and the gunplay is still totally sound. I mean, it's. Still
I think he was really pissed off with the favela mission.
I don't get why people hate Favela either. I think that's a totally fine level in a game.
which
with-
one's that?
That's the one where you are running through the shanty towns.
Oh, that's fine until the end where it just rips off the opening of Call of Duty 4. It's like, hey, you remember that bit when you ran to the chopper? Do it again, you
But,
fucker.
Yeah, it's the best game in the series. Multiplayer is the least balanced, maybe. No,
Maybe-
the least
maybe-
balanced is World at War, but I don't know. I still got the most mileage out of that.
Maybe
Uh,
I'm just angry because when I played Modern Warfare 2, I played the favela mission on an Xbox 360 and also on Veteran, which was not a very good combination because I kept on dying every 3 feet, and then those
Oh no,
fuckers
I
came with the
don't. I don't remember
shotguns.
I don't remember having problems like that. I just remember like most of the set pieces for the first half of the game were in Modern Warfare, and then they're now in
That's
Modern
not
Warfare 2.
accurate. Oh, yeah, the snowmobile chase in Modern Warfare.
Well, no, that's just
is-
fucking ridiculous on its own level.
Yeah, and that's what's great about it. It's just a compilation
that's the
of
thing, if it's-
stupid action movie
If
cliches.
it was going
and
to
it's
be that,
beautiful.
it should be that.
It
Like,
is
and
that.
not-
It is totally that.
It's,
It is completely
It's not enough
that.
that because like
It
no,
is
'cause
entirely that.
They came into Infinity War came into like we're gonna make this like modern like
You
true
break
life
into
shooter.
fucking Alcatraz to break a guy out. It is The Rock. Every
I'm
single
just saying,
level is
like,
an homage
if
to
they
a
were
fucking
gonna go
action
that,
movie.
I would have wanted them to go further.
They went
like,
so far with it.
Yeah, but
They went
Yeah,
so
they have a
fucking
mission where
far.
you shoot up an airport.
Yeah, that's insane.
No, I like. Hey, no, get me wrong. No Russian was great. I enjoyed that to hell.
I don't get what you're complaining about.
No, I mean the overall tone of the game.
The tone is crazy. The tone is balls out
Yeah,
ridiculous.
but compared to like the game they made before, and it doesn't feel like they're saying, "Oh,
the
we've
game they
lost
made
the
before
tone.
was fucking boring in spots.
Yeah,
it had
I know
American
what you're
missions that
talking
were
about.
fucking drag.
Well, that's
I'm
just
glad
what
they
you're saying
broke
about
away
your
from
own
that
people.
shit.
I don't know what the issue is there. All your British missions were great. That bit where you're sneaking like past the tanks, brilliant.
Yeah, and then they did it in the forest. Is that what you're complaining about? The fact that they
Oh yeah, you
that's
do
in
the
the
same
second
sniper
half of the
mission in
game.
Modern Warfare 2.
That's in the second half of the game, mind you. So that invalidates your first half of the game argument right there.
Okay,
'Cause you don't
I'm sorry.
know how
the
long
whole
the game is.
No, correction. Hab has corrected me. The whole game sucks, not just the first half.
Fuck off.
Thank
So-
you for clarifying.
So Black Ops is going to be good. I'm going to enjoy that. Modern Warfare 3 I'm going to maybe enjoy because that game still has some good levels in it. That game definitely has some cool set pieces.
And are you gonna cap it off with Call of Duty Dogs in Space?
That's the dream. By the time I'm done with Black Ops 2, hopefully Ghosts will be out.
I really
and I'll be able
hope
to
the dog comes to space with you.
just put a little helmet on him, and he tries to bite at enemies, but he just bounces his little glass helmet into him. That'd
Aw.
be adorable. That'd be the cutest.
Yeah.
So that's what I am playing and plan on playing, and wow, that was fucking 30 minutes of me talking about that. So you can tell this podcast is going to go a bit over, like we said before, like we predicted. This is going to run a little.
We gotta
long.
wrap this up, man. We got like 4 minutes until the end of the podcast.
Bags, hurry through your games or
Alright.
take your time. Who gives a
Okay,
fuck?
so still playing Final Fantasy 14. Haven't finished it yet. Don't know when that'll happen. But I'm more going to talk about just like the weird things, not like gameplay stuff with this now because
Is
like,
it
it's
is it an
MMO.
if or a when? What is it?
It's an MMO, is what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. But a couple. So it had a rocket launch, that's MMOs. Though this rocket launch was quite funny because the rocket launch, the whole reason for it was they didn't think anyone wanted to play the game, which fair enough. Like I heard,
And
that
yet they
original
put
one's
their
terrible.
entire company's future on it,
And they were like,
basically,
well,
financially.
people didn't like the original, so we didn't want to go crazy with this. But you know, that's slow. That's getting fixed. I don't play often enough for it to be an issue. But here's some of the things I want to talk about. People still use TeamSpeak, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because I guess
So-
they haven't heard of Mumble.
All I know about it, it's the same as Ventrilo, right?
Mumble, Ventrilo, TeamSpeak.
Yeah, so it's like you're just setting up servers that are just for voice chat or something,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, I don't get it. Just add people on Skype. You can like send pictures of like naked people and chat at the same time.
That's what I do. That's true.
You can do
That's
whatever
all I
you
use
want,
Skype
man.
for.
Share screens, whatever. Why? But then again,
To be fair, programs like TeamSpeak have better push-to-talk functionality, and they have like servers, like with like separate rooms inside the servers, so you can get into like a private room if you want.
yeah,
away
mainly
from, like,
these are for
everyone
like
else.
guilds. So
Yeah.
the guild stuff is very weird in that game because guilds gives you buffs, so people are like recruiting for guilds like it's a triangle scheme. Because of course, like, hey, you recruit more members, then the whole group will get more experience in general, and you'll rank up in the group.
You ever heard about that Age of Wushu MMO?
That keeps getting advertised recently.
So there's this it's a game called Age of Wushu. I
Age
think
of
it's
Wushu.
probably Korean
Yeah.
developed, set in
Sounds right.
feudal whatever. And there are guilds that you can join, and one of them requires that you chop your dick off, and you become a eunuch.
What?
You know what?
It's-
I've heard
it's
about.
one of the
I don't know
evil-
why.
it's-
This sounds familiar.
Is this
I
a
might have read
It's
about
one of the
it.
games?
evil guilds, and so in order to join this
and-
guild, you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
get a party together, and members of the party will hold you down, and you're volunteering for this. You volunteer to have your dick chopped off, to be made a eunuch, or like to be castrated, or whatever.
Is this a Second Life
And-
thing?
And while they're doing this, there are people who are attacking you and your party, and they're like fending them off in addition to performing the castration. This is the initiation to join one of these guilds. I just thought I'd bring that up.
No,
Just thought I'd mention that.
that's fine.
Because that's
I haven't found that guild in Final Fantasy 14 yet, but they might just not
it'll
be.
be an interesting.
They might
we're
just
gonna
not
we're
be
gonna
my
make
server.
it though.
But like, yeah, like they shout all the time, and that's kind of a problem. Like, this is a game that like they have these guilds to make parties with, and they have the like the matchmaking for servers. Yet people still constantly shout for parties. People, and maybe this more speaks about people who play MMOs. The way people have picked to play that game, in particular, like the way to level up, is the like most inconvenient way to do it. Because there's like dynamic group events on the maps where like an area pops up, and you go in that area and there's a fight, and anyone can join, and the better you do in it, the more experience you get. And people just grind those, even though there's like the instant dungeons where you get like higher experience per monster than anything else, and like all the experience buffs you get go into monsters. They don't go into like quest rewards. But everyone's like And it's kind of crazy because they're doing it so crazy you get to certain areas and monsters just aren't loading in time. Because it's like, oh hey, there's like 20 people just running like all in the same place, and then they get there, you see them just attack things for a while, nothing really in particular, and then they just run off.
Quality.
Yeah, it's insane stuff like that. Guild sellers are kind of running amok like fuck right now. It's kind of crazy because you don't need it. Money's so easy to get in that game. It's technically like infinite because there's like regenerating repeatable quests that give money, but there's like these people all the time who just stand in towns with bots just spamming everyone for like no it's insane. Like at one point it was like 1 per second, like 1 message per second. And then they realized, oh wait, people are seeing our usernames and banning an account, so they made the message long enough that the name scrolls off the screen before it's done. It's like, if people don't like the messaging, they're gonna find your username.
Fucking emos, man.
I really wonder how much money this costs these companies to like keep buying new licenses for these games, because I hope Square Enix is banning them on an account level, not just a character level. That'd be dumb.
This reminds me of my experience with Salty Bet, where the chat is fucking abhorrent and everyone in it is a piece of fucking shit. And I made it like...
I haven't had too much trouble with that.
Well, if you don't pay
continue
attention to it, it's all just like scumbags making shitty jokes about rape that bitch, rape that fucking lolly bitch, lolly slut takes up the... And like,
what is Jib doing in the chat?
So it's just a ton of that, and one day I spent a whole day just looking at people who were posting shit like that, and the chat moved really quickly, but I would like try to scroll up, I'd try to click their name, ignore them on Twitch, so I wouldn't have to see them ever again. But then like for every person I blocked, there was like 20 more people posting. I realized, oh, this is impossible.
People who
so
like
it's not even worth looking at it.
For some reason, the people who are in like the fighting game community are fucking scumbags.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of why. At some point, like, I really like fighting games, but I'm really removed from that. Like, I never want to get to, like, the tournament stuff.
Well, I mean, if you look at all of us, I think it's safe to say that, like, we all like video games, but none of us call ourselves gamers.
No.
Like, we can look at it, because here we are doing a podcast and talking about video games, but, like, I think we know well enough, like, to not call ourselves that, to not associate necessarily with that.
We're video gamers. We like playing
We're
games.
gamers. Check out the latest gaming news on the Dead Apes podcast.
Look at them.
Women suck. They're ruining our games. I just want to play games. This is my hobby.
Why did my girlfriend break up with me?
I just want to bitch. I can't stand this shit. I want to play fighting games.
I'm on Reddit right now.
I want to stick my dick in Chun-Li. Women are trash. Continue with your Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, so that's... Yeah, no, nothing like that. There was one point where the chat, including me, reenacted the infamous Sakura-Con commercial, which delighted me to no end that people knew what that was. Just like people saying, like, oh, I like Japan. And someone else wrote, I like Japan, period. And then me and my friend of mine wrote, manga, anime. And then it didn't take long for someone to write Guru Gamesh. I was like, yep, no. Okay, these are some okay people. There's some people I've started recognizing the server. There's a Ryan Davis running around. A lot of Final Fantasy names running around. Like, a lot of names I'm starting to recognize.
Ryan Davis, such a Final Fantasy name.
Ryan Davis, yeah. I think he's a cat
Cloud,
guy. I think he's a cat man.
Ryan.
I can't remember, though. I want to say he's a cat man, but don't quote me
As he
on
would
that.
be.
I'm kind of like a warrior woman. I don't know what to call them, really. There's like a race that was in 11 that was like this big burly one, and the female ones... No, those were cats.
Vienna?
Nope.
Or Viera?
No, they were called Galka, but in this one they're called Rogadin because they thought they'd changed the names and put a couple more apostrophes in it.
Good. That's what it needed.
It makes me wonder about that race because the men are so big and the women are still pretty big, but in comparison, it's not pretty. My girl's pretty though. Check her out if you want to come flirt with my character. I'm in the server sometimes.
Give Bag free items. He is a girl in game.
Yeah,
and that's all that really counts.
Yeah.
Check out his Amazon wish list.
I should update
his Amazonian wish list at that point.
Yeah.
Rawr.
And she has like paint on her face because yeah, I don't know. I haven't actually played it in a while.
Great.
I don't think
what else have you been playing?
Okay, so I played this yesterday. This is how little I've been playing video games. I played Shadows of the Damned, a video game for people who like to play video games. So it's that Suda51 Shinji Mikami game.
The motorcycle one?
No.
Where the main menu is you on a motorcycle.
Yeah, that's the main menu, yeah. The best way to describe this is how Brutal Legend was supposed to be like a metal album cover. I would say that this is this is like a Japanese metal album cover. Like that's the easiest way I can put it. Just like all the look of just like, yep, there's just dead bodies everywhere. Like, oh, there's dead bodies. There's a cart of dead bodies. There's a guy. He's got 6 eyes. There's a guy when he walks
Huh.
around.
What a
he's
surprise!
there's a guy who ate a harmonica. So when you're fighting him, he makes like like noises, like harmonica noises while he walks around. It's a insane game, and I kind of love it for it. Like it knows what it is. It's stupid. The aiming sucks a little. It doesn't know that, but like it's just stupid. But the characters are really fun. I didn't get super far though, but I was kind of disappointed that I hadn't played any video games, so I put that in. But it's a cool game from what, like 2010?
Something like that.
Yeah, that game's old. So failing all that, didn't play much video games, so I was desperate. I was lying in my bathroom. I didn't know what to do. I played a game on the iOS.
Ooh.
I played a game called Layton Brothers, which is about a guy and a girl who's not related to him. So I don't know why it's called that. But yeah, it's essentially, so it's, to be blunt, it's a Phoenix Wright clone, but it's on the iPhone, and it's all jaunty and British, and the main character goes like Bayek, not visual. I have to like read it, but I know the voices sound good, and a lot of like in it and stuff like that. I'm gonna be honest, like I don't get iOS games being exclusive. Like a lot of them seem like they could go on anything. Like,
How much did the game cost? Let me ask that.
oh,
Free.
so this is maybe the only reason, because it's very microtransaction, where it's like you get the first couple of cases free, and then you like buy upgrade packs to get like more cases if you want them.
And each of them are like what, like 99 cents? I'd have to hazard a guess.
That would probably be like per case, but I don't think they sell them per case. I think it's like
I have it open.
$3.90 for
I have it open right now. About
Yeah, have a
$3 and $2.
for about
And
3 cases. Yeah,
They're packs.
yeah, they're packs.
People like to shit all over the iOS and the mobile games. People
Yeah.
have called them like the death of the games industry. Like that they're going to kill us all. Console games won't exist. Mobile's going to take over. And what do you guys think of that? What do you think about that? Because
Well-
one, it's bullshit. It's not going to happen. But
Well, so here's
what do you
the
think
thing
about
I'll
mobile
say-
games in
So
general?
here's the thing I'll say about this game. It doesn't do anything to take advantage of it being on a mobile. Like, this could be on any portable device. This could even be on a PC. Like, the touch controls are pretty basic. It's like touch buttons to confirm, slide it to, like, the only time you really use touch controls is where you're looking at like crime scenes, and the 3 functions you can do is zoom, turn, and move, and that's it. And that's kind of like the main problem. Like, I don't have much on my phone because I have consoles, so I don't need, like, why am I going to play games on here? So I have consoles. But nothing I've played on it takes advantage of what the iOS can do. So like that game could easily be on like the 3DS or the Vita, or it could even just be on a PC or whatever the hell you want.
Well, how many
Linux.
people? I mean, more people probably have an iPhone or an Android phone than
Yeah, but
people have
I'm-
a 3DS.
I more mean like I don't see the point of keeping it exclusive. It's like,
So
yeah,
that's a fair.
it makes
assessment
sense
of
that
that
it's
game.
on iPhone because it works on iPhone and iOS. But it's the same way as how like the Phoenix Wright games were ported to a bunch of platforms. And it's like this could easily be on everything, and it doesn't seem to be some sort of like exclusive. I don't know why you'd get like exclusive rights for iPhone games. It doesn't seem like a good idea. I don't think Apple needs to try anyway for that stuff. But
Yeah, obviously the people who made this game targeted iOS specifically. You know, they were not
Hmm.
like.
like that might be
Apple's-
it. It might just be like the pay model is like they don't think people will adopt to that, and I can understand that. Like a lot of people are real scared of that stuff, and rightfully so. There's some like real shitty, like free to play or play for free models out there that you got to look out for. But like this is pretty much just like don't buy the game at once, just buy it in chunks, which is
I think that's a totally
Telltale.
valid model. I think it's a totally valid payment model.
Yeah, Telltale's been doing that for a while. The only difference is they just kind of released it all at once.
That and Telltale doesn't make good games. So here's what I think about mobile gaming. People complain that these games are overly simplistic, that 99 cents is charging too much for them, God, pshaw, and, they poo-poo them. I don't mind them. They're games. When you're making
Yeah.
a game for mobile, you have to make it, like, you get into the game, like, immediately, is the way I feel about, like, I look at most games, most of them. Something like this game you're talking about now seems like it may be a little more plot-heavy, story-heavy.
Yeah, that's kind of the only problem. Like, it is all dialogue, but at least that's kind of fine for a phone because it means you're not doing a lot.
Yeah.
You're just kind of
But-
chilling and
But like the
having fun.
typical mobile game is like something like a Temple Run or whatever, or an Angry Birds.
Yeah.
Like something like a Temple Run or whatever, or an Angry Birds.
Yeah.
I do
And
love
you
the fact
know
you're
what?
talking about the stuff and you don't own a smartphone.
It's true, I don't. But I look at these and I'm like, you know what? At least they're fucking games.
Yeah.
And that counts for something. Then maybe like one gameplay element is like the entirety of the game, because what else are you gonna fucking do? Like you can't like put like a bunch of like complicated mechanics in it, can you really? And you know what? That seems totally fine to me. People are like bemoaning them, like these are gonna take over. Then what's gonna happen to the mainstream games? What's gonna happen to this and that and that?
Well,
You know what? I'd rather
they're completely different markets. You know, this
There
is
are
stuff that you
one-
this is
they're
stuff you
completely
play
different
on
markets.
the train or something like that. And games are stuff you sit down and you get immersed in. And this is you're basically a time waster. You know.
So there's that argument. Then here's my idea. Here's my statement I'm going to make here. I would rather mobile games took over the entirety of the industry, that consoles died, PC gaming died, and all there was were these 99-cent games on the phones, rather than shit like, well, I don't know, Dear Esther, Proteus, Gone Home, taken over.
Yeah. there isn't a Dear Esther on the iPhone. I have not run into that.
Imagine an entire industry dominated by shit like that. No, thank you.
There was that Yearwalk, but at least that still had gameplay.
That was a game though, so
Yeah. Yeah, it did at least have gameplay.
So that's my philosophy: is that if the industry's going to get dominated by one thing that it will never actually get dominated by,
Well,
this is
like,
an
here's the
impossible
thing,
scenario.
It's a different audience at the end of the day. Like you're not going to convert people who were buying consoles into just buying phones. Like,
Exactly. It's a stupid
This was the
argument.
audience that brought the Wii.
It's like a stupid impending threat that's not going to happen, and people who believe it are dumb. But if it had to happen, I'd rather that it happened that way than it happened with indie games somehow
here's
becoming
the only way
mainstream.
it would happen, and this is more of a bigger talk about consoles or PCs in general. And this is if this whole idea of cloud-based gaming comes true, and it's like we get to the one point where it's like, hey, you get your phone, and you just like click a button, sends whatever game like to your TV, and it's all like cloud-based, and it's like, well, you can fucking run anything because you're just using your phone as like an Apple TV or something like that. But that's a bigger talk than what mobile games are.
I
Like
don't know,
that's the only way, like, because that's the thing, like technology's changing. Like no one could predict that iPhone games were going to take over 10 years ago because the concept of a smartphone was like barely a thing.
Well, I mean, like you can get XCOM, Enemy Unknown on the iPhone and the iPad.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, DLC coming out for that game. DLC
Oh, yeah.
due to be released for that game for some reason. Like, it's a few years late for that, I think. Whatever.
I don't know, like the original DLC for Oblivion, like the big one, Shivering Isles, like I like that being a year. It depends. Like it depends on how big the DLC. This doesn't sound like that. This doesn't sound like a brand new campaign or like
This seems like it's a little late for it. It's just out of nowhere, out of left field.
I don't know. Like it makes, for example, with the episodes of Liberty City stuff for GTA made sense because that was like, like so that was like hell. That's better than the original package kind of thing. It was like way far out. And it's a thing that you can mark as a separate game.
We're gonna get to that. We'll actually
Yeah.
touch upon that
But yeah,
when
so
Tag tells us
essentially,
what he's been playing.
so essentially, I kind of didn't play any real games. I played Shadow of the Damned for 2 hours and fucked around with other things, pretending they were video games to make myself feel better.
Have none of you guys played Grand Theft Auto 5?
No,
No, not yet.
I'm amazed.
I don't hate it. I just, I haven't played it yet.
Well, I'm amazed because you guys must have PS3s. You can just buy it on the store.
I'm waiting for it to come out on PC. I'm waiting for it to come out on PC.
That's gonna be like a couple months, dude. You gotta just get it out on the PS3.
I know. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold out.
So
I decided.
Firstly-
I'm not even gonna hold out.
this is only an issue for me, but for some reason, and this is not just an issue with the PS3, but with Europe in general. But for some reason on the PS3, any third-party titles that are put out for digital release on the PS3 are ridiculous charges on them. So Sony stuff has always been, it's like £40, which works out about $60, which is, like the conversion rate that the industry wants to follow. But then, games have come out on the PSN store for between the prices of like 50 to like £70.
Hey, Bag.
No.
You want to go halfsies on Grand Theft Auto 5 downloadable?
No, because apparently that version's kind of bugged.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Despite that, anyway, yeah. But they do that constantly. I think like when Far Cry 3 originally came out, that was 60. even some like rebadging like Star Trek.
Well, I mean, it was completely worth it. That's such a quality game.
Well, no,
especially
like
on
Star
the
Star
superior-
Trek was 50. Like even some like rebudgety stuff that if you just fucking go on Amazon and look for like 15 seconds, you can find at a decent price.
It's funny
But for
because
some
if
reason-
you actually paid for Far Cry 3 on the average frame rate you get on the console version, it'd be like $20.
But yeah, so if you live in Europe, I don't know. We gotta get out of here or something. Bumper, hook us up. I'll vote. Don't worry.
So, Tag, what have you been playing? Let's move this along, please.
Well, I have a game that I like to play every about 6 months or so every year, and I've done so. I like to play Syndicate because it's a great fucking game.
It is. Really
It is. It's extremely stylish. I love it. And it's just like, it just doesn't give a fuck what it does. Like, it has this guy who's a total asshole, and the guy just shoots everybody, and he doesn't even care.
And there's no redemption plot to it. There's no moral dilemmas.
It's just-
you just this guy is poor and homeless and he doesn't matter and he's expendable and you can just shoot him and it doesn't matter. There's no score. It doesn't affect anything. He's just scum. He's lower class and you're above him, and so he's a literal fucking peon. And
Does the
and
phrase
that-
peon literally refer to people you would only urinate onto? Or- I've never been
Yes.
sure about that.
Yes.
I feel kind of bad about the Syndicate because I really liked The Darkness, which was probably like the biggest game that Starbreeze had did before then. And when I found out that it wasn't, like, it didn't have the same kind of like story production stuff,
Oh,
I ended up not getting it.
the second Darkness wasn't even made by them, right?
Yeah, no, but hey, I didn't buy that either, so.
Oh.
But I kind of feel bad now because I fucking love steampunk stuff to death. Like I'm waiting for the day you chop my arm off, turn it into like whatever the hell. Yeah,
Turn
maybe
into
not
a
arm, maybe one of the
steam-powered
legs.
punching machine.
I don't
Steam.
think
Fuck you, Steam. Hey, Steam. Hey, Steam. Fuck you, Steam. Fuck steampunk.
I don't think
It's
Starbreeze
bullshit.
can make a bad game. I mean, they made
No.
the
Like I said, I just
the
there was-
Chronicles of Riddick.
I remember
They
there was just a
made,
lot that was coming out at the time, and I was like, this will just be a shooter. And it was probably around the same time that I was tired of all the like clone shooters. So here's a thing I'm going to say recently. It's not about Syndicate. It's just about video games in general. And this is going to sound kind of two-faced for me, but
It's also going to sound like a major fucking derail. We've had like a half dozen of so
No,
far. But
well,
continue.
no. This is associate, but so a lot of people, and Hab hears this a lot, say that like Call of Duty is the reason that video games are like dying. I believe the developers of Killing Floor said that.
Oh,
They said
you mean
that,
the
like,
people who made a
Call of
generic
Duty-
fucking zombie shooter? Yeah, great authorities.
Yeah,
on
they
this
said that
Nobody
Call of
cares.
Duty. They said like Call of Duty nearly killed modern video games, and this is how I put it to someone. So Call of Duty, Modern Warfare came out, came into class one day. No one used to really like look at it. It's just like, oh, she's just another one of these like war shooters. Who cares? And then she came in one day and she was like pretty, and she'd been working out, and she could do all this stuff that no one had seen before, and everyone loved it. All the girls wanted to be like her, and all the guys wanted to be with her. And and she, was new thing. She, couldn't do anything about it. She wanted to be friends with everyone. And then, you flash forward a couple years later, and there's all these, like kind of trashy girls who all dress like her. And then all the guys are just like, don't fucking hang out with Call of Duty. Everyone's been with her. Everyone's doing that. And all the girls are like, yeah, no, she's a slut. Call of Duty will sleep with anyone. And, at the end of the day, like she, just came out there, did something new, and everyone else is the one who's like copied her and devalued her image at the end of the day.
And by the way, she keeps trying out new fashions. She's been legitimately trying. She's been trying to change up her image. She bought herself a dog. She brings her dog into school now.
So maybe there's still hope yet. But, like, to blame it all on Call of Duty, like Call of Duty made all these other fucking shooters
Is
that
fucking
adopted
stupid.
iron
People who
sights.
complain
Yeah,
about that
like,
are dumb.
I'm like, at the end of the day, like, I've probably said this before, but like, I don't think Call of Duty are bad games, but I got like so oversaturated with all these shooters that after Modern Warfare and then playing Modern Warfare 2 and being like, well, I didn't enjoy it as much, and I've played all these other games, I was just like, I'm done.
Hey, do you remember remember how like after Call of Duty came out, every other genre stopped existing and now there's only that? Oh wait, that didn't
Yeah.
happen? Oh, I guess there's nothing to complain about then. Shut the fuck up, idiots.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you. Glad I could help.
And Syndicate, like, kind of gave me that impression, because, like, though the aesthetic looked really cool, that was another game that's like, oh, hey, here's some iron sights.
Well, when you run with the pistol out, you're still able to shoot, and it looks so fucking cool because you're just
actually,
like, ah.
that does sound cool. I'll look into that then.
Syndicate's really good.
games.
Syndicate is really good. It's not a Call of Duty clone by any means.
No.
Well, that's great. That's what we were talking about.
No,
right?
I got very,
This
I
is the
got
Call
very
of Duty
cynical.
cast, right?
Yeah, I got very cynical at one point in my life.
So you have Saints Row 4 here. Did you finish it? Or...
I did, yes.
I
yeah,
finished
I
that game.
100%ed it too.
Which isn't the hardest task, to be honest, in Saints Row
No, it
games.
was.
I don't know, the
extremely hard.
challenge stuff can, like, the extra challenges could definitely be hard.
Well, yeah, I didn't get done all the challenges like.
Oh, so you didn't 100% then, you fucking bitch.
Well, it said 100%, so you can go fuck right off, bag.
Well, I'm sorry that the game's just, you know, like, fucking, like, being nice to you, just, like, treating you better. Patronizing you. That's great, that's great. That's great that video games patronizing you.
Modern Warfare 3 ends with a mission completion rate for the campaign of 100.3%. Is their 100% completion?
Hey, that's crazy, dog.
Why is everything got to be a Call of Duty thing here, Haven? When you got it right on, you got it on the brain.
Yeah, I guess I do, because I've been playing a lot of Call of
What
Duty.
we talking about RoboCop? You know, that reminds me of Call of Duty. You know.
Do you know? I'd fucking love that series if people said that. It's like, what does Call of Duty remind me of? RoboCop. I'm like, really? What have I been missing out on?
So, Saints Row 4, do you have anything in particular to say about it, or is it just on the list because you played it?
You need to fucking play that, Hab.
The
I
Riff
know
Raff.
I do. I know I do.
The
Oh
Riff
yeah,
Raff.
yeah. You two talk
Riff
about
Raff
Riff Raff
is
for a couple
Riff Raff
minutes.
is a DJ.
Riff Raff is more
Really
than just a
good.
DJ, I'd say.
Well, no, he's
Parlay.
a DJ on. He's a DJ on
Mad
Saints
Decent.
Row for the Mad Decent.
He's
Mad
also
Decent radio station.
he also the real life Mad Decent. He is a but yeah, Riff Raff's cool, dude. He did that freestyle Rookie of the Year, and that's a fucking freestyle, and that's nutso to me. That's sick ass shit.
It is. That was a good. I actually made the mixtape, and I just had that and the Diplo song in there. One of the Diplo songs. That's all I had in the mixtape. That's all I needed to have when I'm going, 500
Oh, I
miles
don't
an
know.
hour
I
around
might
the
just
city.
only put the Aerosmith song on. I might just roll with that all the time.
You know?
But I don't want to miss a thing on my mixtape, so I gotta be inclusive to all genres. Because even when I
That
close
song-
my
that song-
eyes, I want to be hearing the sounds of Mad
Yeah,
Decent.
luckily that song encompasses all genres, so you'll be fine.
Oh yeah, the hip hop breakdown in the
Yeah,
Aerosmith song.
It's subtle, but it's there.
Every time I close my eyes, yeah! So, in addition to Saints Row 4, speaking of open world games, and speaking of something we mentioned earlier, you played a bit of Grand Theft Auto episodes from Liberty City with me! You
Yeah,
played
no, it was
some-
terrible with you.
I don't know why you did. How do you put up with me?
Oh, it's all very hard, but I get through it. Episodes from Liberty City is very good.
We played all of them, all the different because each game, there's Grand Theft Auto 4, which is, the most basic, I'd say, in the multiplayer mode. It's the most standard. It doesn't even have, leveling up. That's what we started off with. Then we fucked around with Ballad of Gay Tony, which is, the most, I'd say the most, arcadey, the most, the weapon selection is, the most assorted, the most fun to play around with. It's the most
Yeah,
fun for,
the P90 on the when you're on a vehicle is really fun to watch too.
There's a video up of that on my my personal channel. You should maybe watch that to see what he's talking about. That one is just good for pure plain fun. But the one I think we played the most of was Lost in the Damned,
Mm-hmm.
which has a multiplayer mode called Club Duty or Club Activity, something like that. Which is basically you get missions. Basically, it's co-op mode, so everyone that you're playing with, you're all on the same team, fighting for the same cause, and you'll get assignments to go here, do this. I'd say it's the most fun mode that we spent the most time with, and we should probably play some more of that even, because it's also good for getting XP and leveling
Yeah,
up.
I'm launching it up right now.
Great. This is going to be a great podcast if we start playing games while talking. That's going to bode very well. But yeah, so that's gonna not last too much longer then, huh? That's not going to be around for forever anymore?
What, Games for Windows Live? It's going to be there forever. Microsoft loves Games for Windows
Forever and
Live. It
ever.
makes them the most. I mean, look at Shadowrun.
It's so well supported, and so many great games use it, and still have such vibrant,
Nice. I like you dropped that in there. Nice.
life-filled This gaming communities that still exist for these games. Don't stop
And it just,
believing.
it just works so well on their most recent OS update as well.
So what we're
Yes.
hinting at here is that Games for Windows Live is going away and fucking dying, and that games that do not update to remove it, that games that do not patch to like fix it, get rid of it, replace it with some other form of online management, gameplay, whatever you want to call it, that those games will straight up not work once Games for Windows Live
So
gets taken down.
basically, what you're gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to illegally download circumvention for Games for Windows Live.
That works.
That's what you're going to have to do. You're gonna have to download X Live List or something like that just so you can play your fucking game. Because Games for Windows Live sucks.
Mm-hmm. Which is why it's dying. And I
Well,
think we finally
then,
did it. That's everything. That's what we've been playing. We finished the section. It only took us 1 whole hour. Wow, we still have 4 other sections left to go. Jesus Christ.
That's mainly your fault, though. I only played like an iOS game.
Yeah, to be fair, that was sort of my fault. I took up 30 of those minutes, so my apologies. But let's just move swiftly along. This is still we're still only halfway through. I know I'm trying to hurry things along, but we still have a long ways to go. Let's move on to latest videos.
Latest videos!
What?
What? What the
What?
fuck? What?
What?
What the fuck was that?
That was latest videos.
What was that in the background?
Huh?
What? What are you talking about, Tang? That seemed
I don't know.
like a perfectly good introduction to gaming videos.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. I guess.
So, holy shit. We posted some videos recently.
Yes, confirmed.
What videos?
First thing I have here, because we're going in reverse chronological, which means oldest to newest. We had the Akimbo Kung Fu Hero video, which I had on a guest commentator for who had a hand in developing the art assets for the game, one Guru Larry Bundy Jr., who some of you may know. He's known us for a while, we've known him, and he approached me one day and he said, "Hey, I know you like to play bad games," and I think he saw the Frontlines Fuels of War video, which I had a game tester on for to do commentary with me, Nigarath, and so he said, "Hey, that was interesting. You should take a look at this game that I had a hand in, because it's fucking shit too, and I have some things to say about it." And so we talked about it, and I think it came out pretty well for having to do 3 takes of it because recording issues kept fucking shit up. But, other than that, interesting video. I like to try. I want to find more people who have, had hands in games. Please, if you, I'm going to give this is an open call now. If you had a hand in developing some properly released game, I don't care about your indie bullshit, I don't care about some fucking shit you made in Unity. If you, tested for or developed for, an actual video game, let me know. Let me know what's up.
So, so what about if it was developed in Source?
Doesn't count.
Oh, what if it got on the
So,
news?
running with scissors? No, thank you.
What if it was a popular mod?
A popular mod?
Made in Source and it got on the news?
What, you mean, what if, someone, let's say Greg Tito of The Escapist maybe
Yeah.
interviewed
Yeah,
the developer about it?
yeah. And then, Jack Thompson got, really mad at it for some... I don't know why.
It's like Jack Thompson came out of hiding to talk about
Yeah,
it?
yeah. And maybe it was also cited in a Senate paper about banning violent video games, apparently,
Apparently.
at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know what you
pay
could
to see that,
possibly...
though.
I don't know what you could possibly be referring to here. This seems way too vague. You're going to have to be more specific with the details about
You're not
it.
talking about the new Infinity Ward game, are you? That's in Source.
Oh, I wish it wasn't. That scares me. That makes me so nervous.
Why do
I know
you-
I shouldn't be. I know I shouldn't be nervous. I know it's going to be totally fine, but it just makes me nervous for some reason. Just knowing what I know about that fucking engine. Let's move on to the next video. After that, I posted a video for Bloodlust Shadowhunter, which is a game that we were directly invited to play by some
Yeah.
no-name schmuck named
A
William
sleepy
Fisher.
game.
A very tiring game
Yeah.
about vampires. You know what? I'm assuming
And
that
vampires.
I'm assuming that people who have listened to the podcast, who listen to this podcast, have probably watched our videos too. So we
No.
don't really need to summarize the videos. I'm realizing
I wouldn't say that.
if we just talk about like some of the details, like if we had any like insights on the game outside the videos, things that happened outside the recording, which I don't
I
think
don't know.
we have.
I
For
liked
this
I
one.
liked how the enemies like disintegrated into ash, but that was about it.
You know what? I do
that looked
have a
nice.
development. I do have. What am I talking about? I do have something to share here.
Oh,
So I opened that video up with a message from WRF Studios on YouTube, a private message inviting me to play the game, and then we posted the video, and I actually got a follow-up. I got a follow-up from WRF Studios, who watched the video, Bill Fisher, William Fisher, man of many names, and he told me his thoughts. He gave me a response. The video clearly mocked him, was clearly making fun of him and his strategy and his game.
We'd never do that. We would never do that.
And he responded to me, and the response may interest you, may surprise you. I'm going to read this whole message now. It's a few paragraphs long, so bear with me.
What's another hour?
What's another hour in the grand scheme of things? Response to Bloodlust. Thank you for doing that video. It actually helps me out when people point out things that are wrong like this. Some of the issues I sort of know about, but it's always good to hear from other people, so I know I have to absolutely address it. Being a gamer myself, I understand how Bloodlust compares to most other games. And I have to admit I was laughing hard during your video, since it was pretty funny when you're pointing out obvious glitches, etc. Also, I apologize if I came out kind of jerky with my message, as if I was trying to con anyone into doing a video. I never wanted to do that, but I definitely admit to contacting many YouTube channels with the same cut and paste message, but never thought it would irritate anyone. Just letting people know. If they didn't want to do it,
I'm a dumbass.
if they didn't want to do it, that's cool too. Everyone else seemed cool about it. Some people simply played and sent me an email without doing a video. I guess I need to reword it differently and explain that I'm not really necessarily looking for publicity yet. However, it's always nice, but rather looking for people to simply send feedback. And it's great when people record while playing, since then I can see exactly what you did in your video and point out things that could use improvement. I will make sure to fix all of the things you mentioned in the video. The videos from other channels have also helped me out tremendously, since it's like watching over someone's shoulder while playing when they record. You wouldn't believe what this game looked like a year ago, LOL. Also, wanted to address a couple of things you mentioned in the video. The game does eventually get out of the dungeons into a city environment, but only to the sewers in the demo, so I was right about that bag. We don't
Okay.
get out of the sewers, we would have never got to that nightclub.
that tattoo parlor, you mean?
Yes.
I was so looking forward to that. I guess I have a reason to look forward to the full version now. You got me.
The levers in all the secret areas are necessary because you could technically get trapped inside any of those rooms. There are levers outside the room that can get tripped by monsters or by using your vampire's gaze skill, so you need a way to get out. Yeah, here's a way. How about making them lock open? When they open up, they just lock up and they don't have
Here's
to
the
worry
thing.
about
If
that
you have
shit.
to explain your game after the fact and make excuses, you did a shitty job.
Let me just finish off because we're up to the last paragraph here. The truth is, the game will probably never be as good as Far Cry 3.
It's a very Pacific and kind of random.
I think he was.
game,
I
but
think he.
whatever.
I think he was. I think he's a fan. I think he watches the podcast.
That's the primary inspiration for that game, not Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Or Far Cry 3 or anything close, and I don't take it too seriously, but I will try to fix as much as I can. I may do a Kickstarter to get more resources. Oh, Christ, please don't. Thanks again for your honest feedback, Bill. So that was a nice little message we got back in response. I didn't reply to that because I wanted to share it on the show first. So yeah, he watched it all the way through like I knew he would. I think some of that rings of bullshit.
That's impressive. I'll say
Some of that message reeks of bullshit, like saying that he doesn't want it to be publicized yet. A little doubtful of that, but, you know, whatever. He's going to say what he's going to say. He's going to spew PR in my face like he did in the first place. Whatever, at least he was civil about it. At least it wasn't like, he wasn't completely like, oh, fuck you for looking at my game like this, you piece of shit, you fucked up. My game is great, so, you know, kudos to him for not being that guy, I guess. That's not the greatest compliment I can really pay a person, but, you know, it's the greatest compliment I can pay him at this point. So, kudos for that, I guess. We finished 2 LPs. Well, we finished one. We finished You Are Empty.
Yeah, I did. It was all me.
It was all you. It was all him. All tag. Play through it for me.
Congratulations.
You know, I can't even say we finished it because there's still one more video I want to do for it, but we're waiting on something for that. We're waiting on we finished the main LP. We finished the whole game, but now we're waiting on the modded version, which someone and Something Awful promised me they would make for me. I sent them a private message. I mentioned them in a thread after I finished the game, and I'm like, hey, now's the time if you want to send that over. So I might just have Tag do it. It's all coded and scripted in Lua, so if you can modify that, you said that you're able to do that, that would be ideal, just so we can get that wrapped up and out the door and lock that thread and get it on the archive and move on.
I'll make the modifications that you asked, which is to make them all flash different colors and make everything pink for some reason. I don't know why.
This is what my personal.
These are
request.
like Tony Hawk 2 cheats.
Yeah, big heads too.
Disco mode.
And he also put in some sick ass music.
And also, if you
Hey.
can make the move speed faster, that'd be also nice if you could do that.
I don't know if I can do that.
That one's a little. That's outside of your.
Yeah,
Can you at
that's
least make
fine.
it a little slower?
Can you make it even slower? Can you make it?
You know, I
like-
think I can. I think I can do
Phew.
that, but not faster.
So in addition to that, we finished. By which I mean I gave up on RoboCop as part of the Don't Play These Games series because Jesus Christ, that game isn't. It's not even funny to make fun of that game. It's just so fucking boring. It's maybe the most boring game I've ever fucking played. Superman 64, which is a game I've beaten, by the way, which is by the same developer, which is why I mention it, had less dead air than that game. Than RoboCop. Fucking hell, RoboCop is boring. I realized I wasn't making it funny anymore, that there was nothing I could really say to make the videos watchable, so I gave up. And we're going to move on to the next game, which I asked folk in the thread at Something Awful what game they wanted to see, and the votes seem to go for Gods in General seems to be the most voted for, so it's probably what we're going to play next, which I might have to do something special because there's a box for that game that I want to show off, and I don't think it'd be justice just like put in like a video editor and like zoom in on it. I think I might have to show it off on a camera. I might have to cave in and. But you didn't hear that here. You didn't hear that here, folks. Don't spoil it for
Or
people.
we're gonna see you.
An
We're gonna see
unboxing.
your face. Yeah.
Unboxing. Welcome to the unboxing ring. Gods and Generals today. So we'll move on to that game. And maybe on the next episode we'll have some comments on that. Maybe on the next episode of this podcast we'll have some comments on the first episode of that. We'll see. I still have to finish up Homefront. And which brings us to the latest video as of the time of this recording, which is something completely different. Which is our Super Hot review. We decided to review the latest indie darling to hit the internet to get publicity for a trailer, which, you know, people bemoan. Let's just say that people haven't been responding positively to this review.
I don't know what you're talking about.
In fact, most of the feedback seems to be fucking hate mail being sent to me.
Yeah.
It seems to be very angry indie fans who...
Death threats.
people who disagree with my review fundamentally, who continue to bring up the same tired, wrong points about the game.
Yeah.
Such
It was
as...
only released in 7 days.
Don't compare to Bioshock.
So, let's address some of those. So,
Okay, so first off, I know our viewers know this, but I just want to make sure everyone hears this, and if you ever meet anyone in the street, just go say, hey, the definition of the word pretentious is an adjective, and it means attempting to impress by affecting greater importance, talent, culture, etc. than is actually possessed.
Which
I
I would
have-
define text flashing on a screen a word at a time while you're shooting people in slow motion in a
Yeah.
glorified
I'd have to
art
say-
museum.
I have-
it's
I have
also
no
it's saying
idea.
super hot, super hot, super hot. Like
I
it's
gotta
up its
say-
own ass.
Here's the thing, I'm going to say I have no fucking idea what the people in the comments think pretentious means, because some people claim the review was pretentious, which I don't know what that means. Apparently,
Also senile.
I've
Yeah.
been called
Whiny.
senile, apparently. Whiny. Yes,
Let me open up.
I don't
the
know.
face,
I like
face
that
punch thread.
comment. I like that comment.
But let's address some of the main criticisms of my criticism. The first and foremost seems to be people want to defend this game because it only took 7 days to make. Well, God
Yeah.
made the Earth in 7 days, so fuck you. No, but seriously, this build of the game took 37 days to make because they had an extra month between the 7-day FPS challenge concluding and when they posted that trailer, when they publicly announced this build of the game.
Yeah, also the fact that they released it to a public audience, which automatically opens it up to critique, no matter how much it took. It could have taken a year. It could have taken 3 hours.
Funny enough, back in like 07 or 08, whenever the Resident Evil 5 demo came out, I had the exactly same discussion with someone telling me that no, do not make judgments on a video game based on its demo. You should play the entire game through it all the way through. And it's like, no, the entire point of a preview, of a demo, of a concept, whatever it is to show you a small bite of something and to sell you on it.
The super hot developers, Blue Brick, could have held onto the game for as long as they wanted before they put it out. Instead, they waited 30 days to make improvements to it. Then they released a trailer with quotes from Cliff Bleszinski praising the game with fucking box quotes already.
Well, here's the thing. Like, the quotes were like not really praising the game. They were just more acknowledging. Because Cliff's quote was basically just, yeah, like it's not hand-holding. It just goes. Peter Molyneux's quote was, it's a video game that exists.
No, it's not. It wasn't Peter Molyneux. It was Peter Molyneux. It's the fake Twitter account.
Either way, he just straight up said, "Hey, yeah, this game exists."
So that's like the main criticism debunked. So what if it took 7 days, 37 days? They could have waited longer before they decided, hey guys, check this out. This is what we're confident in, and we're confident that you'll like it. Which, you know what? People did, because people are fucking gullible and stupid, and they'll like anything, I guess.
I like the trailer music, though. That was alright. It's not in the game, though. But...
So the second criticism of my criticism is that the game, the current aesthetic was... the final game somehow won't look like this, they think. They think that the final game will look way better than this, so I can't criticize the art style, because it's all programmer art. It's all, like, temporary. I don't buy that. I can guarantee you that the final game, when it comes out, will have the same exact fucking aesthetic.
And here's the thing. So, most of that art style is a consequence of the limited development time and resources. And that's fine. But the problem is that they pretentiously sold that art style as being more than what it is. That was the entire crux of that review. Funny enough, no one actually denies that. No one denies that the game is pretentious. Well, if they do, they just say, no, you. Because, whatever.
Really funny.
But, yeah, like, that's the main problem with the game. Like, a lot of its issues that Hab talks about that, yes, aren't really that bad of an issues when you think about a game that has been developed in such a short time. But the problem is that instead of accepting that, because that's not a bad thing. A game that you've made in, like, 7 days and then had to like fix. That's not a bad thing if that game looks like that, yeah. But like when you start selling that as like, no, this is all done on purpose.
This is clearly the direction that they're going to take a full game.
Yeah.
This is the way this game will look. The full game will look like this, except for 2 or 3 hours, and will give you a fucking headache. I have to imagine. Maybe they'll fix up some of the stuff like the gun model. God, I hope they fix that fucking gun model because that's fucking disgustingly bad. If you look,
maybe they'll have more than 4. Maybe they'll have more than just 4 sounds completely.
Maybe that would, boy can dream.
Maybe it'd have a soundtrack.
Like I said in the video, I put the pretension aside if the gameplay was sound.
Oh yeah.
The biggest problem with the game is that it's not. Is that none of the levels take advantage of the gimmick, which is why I made the point about being able to beat the entire game without using time stop even once. Without stopping moving, and it's not that hard to do.
I think that you used tools. That was a tool-assisted run. Fucking jerk.
Okay, so let me correct that.
How many times did it take you to do, huh?
Yeah,
only once. I
twice.
See you dying.
For recording the video, it took me 2 tries to get a full playthrough without dying once. It took me 2 attempts. I died once on the hallway level. Because
this is a puzzle game that if you look at the press kit, it says it's a puzzle game.
That's right. The press kit does say this is a puzzle game, so bear that in mind. By the way, it's not. It is not. It
has too much randomization to be a puzzle game.
So basically, those are the 3 biggest arguments against me. I would say those are the 3 points I see reiterated the most. This is not going to be okay. There's one more, which is that I spent 8 minutes talking about a 5-minute game, and people seem to. Be furious about this. That, well, you're telling people not to play the game. The name of the video is Don't Play Super Hot, and yet your review is longer than the game. Yeah, Yeah, it is, because it's such a short fucking game, and yet it's getting so much fucking press. If you take the amount of videos, the total length of all the videos about this game and combine them, you'd have like tens of hours of videos for this 5-minute game. Look, this game is, whether we like it or not, it's been approved on Greenlight by this point. It's going to become a full game. And the full game, I should hope, is longer than 5 minutes. Maybe a speedrun will be 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
Look, this is a review of a game that's not finished yet. I'll grant you that. It's a trial version, but this is the version they put forward as a proof of concept, not just for the gimmick in the game, the time freeze gimmick, but as for the package as a whole, what this final game will look like.
Actually, apparently it turns out that the reason why it has trial version is because it's using the trial version of the Unity engine.
That's
They
also,
don't even have a license.
that's also very interesting.
Huh.
But let me put it this way: that it's I should take as much time as I need. 8 minutes is a very short amount of time to make the criticism I made for a game which will become a full retail product. I was giving feedback. I was hoping that maybe one of these days, one of the Blue Brick developers will somehow see this and maybe listen to it, which I know they won't. They're busy rolling in it right now and just getting
Well,
off
they don't even have any money. They just got greenlit. I mean, you
Well,
don't
it's
get
kind of
money
weird. I did check out their website, and I can't quite figure out what they used to do. At some point, I think they were making like skins for like AMP emulation programs.
I think they're a web development company.
Yeah.
I think
the
that's what
website.
they-
I think there's 2 links on the page. One of them takes you to the hosting for the website. Is I think what you might be confusing it with.
No,
But
that's a
the
weird
they're-
way
point
to
still
put their
stands.
website then.
Look, I know I'm not going to dissuade anyone from playing this fucking game. I know what the first thing people are going to do is play the game. When they see "don't play" in the title, then I say all these things about it. Obviously, the first thing they're going to do is fucking play the game for
Yeah,
themselves,
negative
knowing it's 5 minutes
reinforcement,
long.
psychology shit.
But I think in the video, I'm putting forward a case for, look, here's everything you're going to take away from the game, basically, and here's what I think about it. That over the course of 5 minutes, the game's going to stick with you for longer than 5 minutes, maybe. It might stick with you for 10 minutes. It might stick with you for 15. Maybe it sticks with you for a whole day, and you can't stop thinking about the game like some sort of obsessive weirdo. And here's just 8 minutes of me talking about what I feel about the game, my takeaways from it. This is how I felt about all these aspects of the game that might pop into your head if you're looking at it through your own critical eyes. That here are some of the thoughts you might have, and here are my thoughts on those thoughts. And that's all. And you know what? People are going to keep complaining about the title, they're going to complain about the content in the video, and they're all fucking stupid. It seems to be the predominant theme here, is that most of the people commenting are fucking morons.
Well, it's because most of them are from Face Punch.
Most of them
Face
are from
Punch
Face
forums.
Punch, we discovered. And most of them come from a Face Punch thread that Tag, Akapon here, posted, which is still going. Discussion there is still going, much like the discussion on the video is still going.
Last post was 30 minutes ago.
Fucking A. So, so the feedback is overwhelmingly negative. There's some people who agree with me. Typical, the usual fans, the usual commentators on our channel are coming out in support of it. They understand what we're going for here, and you know what? This is exactly the reaction I was expecting and I was hoping for. And this has given me the green light in my head, so to speak, the green light, to go ahead and make more videos like this. Maybe talking about more indie games I have some issues with that get free passes because they're indie games. And people, I notice people unsubscribing from the channel, and some comments, another complaint we received is that, man, I like it when you just talk about the bad games, but I don't like it when you make fun of the indie games. That's just mean, you're just picking on them. You know what? I calls them like I see them. Bad games are bad games. You can make a bad game and have a huge budget, and that's funny. But you know what else is funny? Pretentious little shitty art games that have like barely any gameplay.
You say that's funny, but I remember how angry Resident Evil 6 used to make you when we were playing.
That's an exception. That game.
Well, no,
was
like I
infuriating.
said, I was angry for the first 2 hours I played that game, and then had to step back and say I can't. Like I have to enjoy this for the shipwreck it is.
But that's the problem with some of our fans who apparently have unsubscribed, or people who also I post a lot on Tumblr now, answer questions about indie games, and I'll occasionally get comments on there saying I just wish you would stop talking about these indie games, stop trying to tell me that indie games are bad, just shut up and just keep playing shit like Homefront, just making fun of that, stick to that shit. And you know what? Fuck off. If that's how you feel, fuck off. Unsubscribe, fuck off. I'm not pandering to you, you little whiny shit. Bad games are bad games. Money doesn't make a good game. Money doesn't necessarily make a bad game either. No money can make a really bad game.
Sorry. The way you the way you said that, in my head, I heard that money don't make bad games. You might not be a great developer. Money don't make bad games. Shit.
But
Oh,
but yeah,
go play Ballad of Gay Tony.
bad games can come from anywhere, and this so happens that the indie game community produces a lot of bad games. So you know what? I'm going to keep talking about them, and I'm going to keep talking about how they have such a great potential to be good, but they're overwhelmingly shitty. And you know what? If you don't want to hear me talk about that, then fuck off forever, because I don't fucking care about you. You're not going to dictate the direction this channel goes. We make the videos we want to make.
And I'm serious. I will get around to that fucking LP. Just wait. Capture Ion fucking hates these new operating systems. What do you want? They don't like them.
So that's Tony Hawk Ride LP you're talking about now. Coming soon.
It will come.
It will come.
Yeah.
And
Finally.
Shred, I don't know.
that should do it for the latest videos.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us to gaming news.
中住さんゲーミングニュース Oh, great!
Great! So, we got some gaming news here. Oh, I wish we had more Japanese gaming news now.
Yeah, but that was the
I like
theme
how
I was going for with Tokyo Game Show and all
You
that.
took like an hour to get ready, and these are the sound bites you have.
They're worth it.
What are you trying to
Gone
say?
downhill.
Worth every
You've
second.
gone downhill.
So,
It's peaked.
our headline gaming news,
Prejudice.
our top
Oh, yes.
story, for some reason,
Breaking news.
Disney
Breaking
Toontown
news.
Online shut down on
Put it
September
in bold.
19th.
There we go.
Rest in peace, bitch.
Forever in our hearts.
Which, the
What?
reason why we're covering this is because we made a video about it, an old Haberman & Co. episode, which, we played it very recently, in the past year, and I also mentioned in that video, I mentioned that I played it when it first came out, when I was still a kid. Bear in mind, I was a kid who played Doom and Wolfenstein 3D when those games were new, and yet I still found the time to play stuff like Toontown. I still wasn't
I'm noticing that every time you do a Haberman & Co. video, a service will shut down.
Bullet Run, and now this.
Bullet Run, and now this.
Can't wait for, what other games have you do Haberman?
Dino
Oh,
Horde
you know what?
eventually.
Blacklight Tank go down when Games Windows Live goes down. That will die too. Shit! Fuck!
Oh, no.
Every game we play dies.
The console version will be fine still, so don't worry.
Oh yeah, that's what everyone plays, right?
I think more people did actually.
But yeah. So I mean, it's shut down. But before, when they first announced the shutting down of Toontown, I looked on YouTube for some videos to see if there were any Toontown players reacting, and oh god, there were. There are some emotional videos, some emotional people who were playing Toontown for all these years.
Never has the phrase vocal minority be so correct in a situation.
Because I remembered,
how young they were.
Roblox still has, a fucking fan community that makes videos for it. I know there's, all the Club Penguin shit. And there are all these games that, we don't even think about on a daily basis that, get no mainstream coverage or whatever.
Weekly basis.
That are just,
monthly.
but they have these communities full of, kids. Hundreds of thousands of kids who obsess over them and make videos in them. And, there's all these sub-communities that just exist so outside of our radar. And
Well, there was the Toontown final stream part 1 out of 4.
Yep.
It was 4 hours long.
It was, yeah, there were some people who were sad to see it go, who started petitions to bring it back, and they tried to tell Disney not to shut it down or to sell it to someone.
If
And
Disney just would, spend a lot of money making more content for the game, it wouldn't need to shut down.
But yeah, those are kids for you. Kids don't understand how this sort of stuff works. Look, it was nice of Disney to keep the game open for as long as they did. They put this game out in 1998, right? When it first came out?
No.
No, when did it first... You're fucking with the show notes right now.
I said it shut down 1998 because that's how old it looks.
There you go. That's better.
For those of you who can't see our Google Doc, Bag just changed the shutdown date to September 11th.
What? No, I didn't.
I see your cursor where you're hovering over the number.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
because
says
I was
right
going to
there
change
that-
it because I was so disgusted.
I think it was 2001. I could be wrong about that. But this game has been around for so fucking long. And you know what? They put that game out and it never really took off the way that other MMOs, even at the time, did. And you know what? They realized that kids were still playing it though. They realized it wasn't completely dead. it was a gradual decline. People were dropping off, but they put it out. They kept it online as long as they could. They felt they figured that after 12 years' time, who could possibly be playing this game? Who could be coming into this game at this point? And there were still a handful of people, and of course they're gonna cry about it like the fucking children they are. But you know what?
literally cry like videos
literally
of people
tearing
of
up,
just young kids just
screaming and
it's
throwing
like,
temper tantrums.
Away.
Literal temper tantrums on the microphone. But you know what? They kept it around long enough for most kids to grow out of it, and that was admirable of them because they weren't making any fucking money off of it at any point. Like that was a loss for them. Maintaining those servers cost them more, had to have cost them more than membership, whatever profits were making them. So, I mean, good on them for sticking with it as long as they did, and rest in peace that game, and laugh at the kids who don't know where else to go now, who don't realize that other games have come out, I guess.
well, I think I made a post on one of the comments. I said, what the fuck, if this is how you react to some shitty game closing down, what's going to be like when your girlfriend of 5 years leaves you? Like, what the fuck is gonna, you'll just be dead, you'll just kill yourself or something. You're just like, oh my god,
There's some emotional people
end of the
out
world.
there. I don't know. But I also put down in notes here, bullet points to that Warhammer Online Age of Reckoning is due to shut down in December. That's another MMO that lots of MMOs shutting down now. MMOs not the crazy biz they used to be, which means it's a great time for Final Fantasy XIV to be making its its moves. MMOs, man, fuck, still around, I guess. Maybe not for long. Hopefully not. People still play Warcraft. Not as many as they used to be, but people still play it for whatever that's worth.
I think they just need a change more than anything.
Potentially. So that was our biggest headline. Now let's move on to like some secondary
Some
stuff,
minor shit,
some fluff stories, like the new console launch dates.
Yeah,
which
we've
we
got
now
console launch dates, and
Like-
they're nice dates. They're good numbers.
like November 15th for the PS4, yeah, I guess. November 22nd for the Xbox One. Okay, sure, why not?
Yeah.
We're always waiting on the next Wii at this point. I mean, so we don't even care about these consoles. When Wii U 2 is coming out, we don't have that date yet.
Nintendo fanboys, man. So I'm gonna say something. I don't mind Japan. I think Japan's alright. I see Japan history. I go, hey, Japan, you alright? And he's like, yeah. Fuck these Japanese, like, I don't know, like gamers or otakus or neets.
Or just the Japanese people in general, the entire
I don't
nation.
know. So, boo fucking who? You're getting the console like a couple of months later. I guess you probably forgot the time when Europe got the PS3 a year fucking later than the rest of the world. I'm sorry you can't wait fucking 3 months. Because, well, wait a minute, what amazing Japanese games are even coming out in launch, let alone in 4 months' time? Apart from, what is it, Knack? And a couple of betas and trials for free-to-play games and MMOs. Fucking nothing.
Fuck you,
Like-
Japan.
Like, oh, and I'm sorry that it cost you, like, I don't know, like $20 more to buy it because of the yen conversion. I don't know, it costs like $100 more fucking dollars for me to buy it as well.
Yeah.
Like, you've got so little fucking problems at the end of the day compared to, like, what other countries have. Like, look what's going on with Microsoft and how, like, they're slowly pulling out of, like, every fucking territory. I don't know who wants that, so is that good news? I don't know. But, like, you could have it so much worse. You could have 2014 and have no date. You could have, like, Sony coming out and saying, like, oh, we're going to put shooters out now. Like, shooters only and all this fucking shit. Fuck you, dude. I don't know any Japanese insults.
I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt, but we have some breaking news.
Oh,
This is
breaking news.
Hot news, an update on our most important story, an update on the story that you all came here to hear about. Toontown Rewritten, coming soon. The reboot, the gritty reboot of... No, apparently, Tag added to the show and said he found some people had pulled the available files for Toontown, and are planning to rebuild, re-release the game. As some, in some sort of capacity.
So apparently,
Japan, I blame you for this as well.
Fuck you, Japan!
Fuck you.
Toontown Rewritten really isn't nearly as expensive as you would think to maintain. Hardware prices have substantially dropped compared to what they were written when Toontown first launched in 2003, and the folks over at Toonbook have provided the funding and servers necessary to run Toontown Rewritten. So you're going to get it for free of charge. It's never going to stop.
The
What
Matrix Online
fuck?
still hasn't been rebooted
Yeah.
yet. People said they were gonna like pull all the files for that game, then re-release that.
I thought they
re-host
did,
that.
but they just, there was nothing to do in it.
There's a social networking website that's based on Toontown characters.
Do people like role play as their characters? I hope they do.
I don't know.
Register for an account and get back to us. We're gonna continue with the news.
All right, I will.
Which brings us to we mentioned Grand Theft Auto 5 earlier, which is probably, maybe not as big as Toontown, but it's a pretty substantial release. People are talking about it. Maybe not as big news as Toontown shutting down or this reboot that's coming out, but some people care about it for whatever reason. Whatever. So I think it has like a 98 on Metacritic. That's a pretty good score, right?
Yeah. It's, it's...
And it's sold more copies in its first week than like any other game ever made combined or something like that. It sold a lot of copies. It's done very well. Surprise, surprise. It's a new Grand Theft Auto game and it's doing well financially, critically. And yet, people still have complaints about video game reviews, about gaming journalism. Carolyn Petit is a reviewer for GameSpot. I got it right. I didn't say GameStop. I'm proud of myself for that. It's fun.
Should have said videogames.com.
Nuke.com.
So Carolyn Petit is a reviewer, a female reviewer, who was chosen to review Grand Theft Auto 5. And her review is mostly positive. It's great. The graphics are great. Everything about it is great, except for the fact that it's potentially very misogynistic. That even above and beyond what Grand Theft Auto fans are used to, that like I was mentioning, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines earlier, where every female in the game is a prostitute or a slut or whatever. Sort of the same shit, where everyone is like some sort of stereotype of the worst kind of female, and she brings this up as their main criticism of the game. In fact, her only criticism. That in a game with such an interesting story, that this was sort of like a negative mark against it, that sort of took away from her perspective as a female gamer. And, gaming, we have to accept at this point that female gamers make up close to half of the market. I think it's somewhere like 40-something%, which is a significant fucking amount.
That's more than I would have thought, actually, yeah.
It's a very significant amount.
Which is kind of weird, because all my sisters play video games, so that's like 75% for me.
So, this is a valid criticism that could be raised, and that she chose to raise. And so she ends her review with a 9.0 out of 10, and ends with the line, "You shouldn't let this stop you from visiting." So her review is a full recommendation of the game, even if some aspects of it were offensive to her. She was willing to overlook these details in order to give this objective review. She deducted points for it, but at the end of the review, 90 is a fucking high score, by the way. 90, very high score. That's a great game. Games have gotten scores lower than that and have still been considered critically praised. 90 is a very good review. And yet, pieces of fucking shit have taken issue with her review, have rallied against her, petitioned for her to be fired. By the way, they were doing this before the game had actually come out, before any of them could have actually played it. I should mention.
Huh.
Because this review did come out the day before the game came out. So, and this is where the backlash began. They criticize her for caring about these issues because she happens to be a transgendered woman. That she became a woman later in life. And apparently that invalidates all of her criticisms, that she can't care about misogyny in video games.
If you're a piece of shit, that's a great opinion to have.
So, they're taking this against her, sending her death threats, all sorts of shit that you would expect Grand Theft Auto fans to do. Like the same shit they did to Jack Thompson, by the way. Good job, Grand Theft Auto fans. You're all great.
Yeah, great job. Showing that video games don't encourage violence.
No, there was the kid who stabbed someone for a copy of GTA 5 in the UK.
Wow, what a surprise.
Which, as I'll point out, he hadn't played the game yet. So it was the lack of the game that made him violent.
So
stopped stabbing as soon as he got that copy.
So Carolyn Petit, she's been in the crosshairs before, and I just want to say that she's very fucking brave. That this isn't the first time she's faced this. It's maybe the strongest backlash she's faced to a review like this. But the fact that she's still sticking to her guns and staying in the industry is like fucking you go, girl. Like, Jesus Christ, don't let these piece of shit gamers get you down, because they're, at the end of the day, they're just pieces of shit. I want to focus our attention here on another review. The bullet point here is socially conscious GTA 5 reviews. There was another review by The Escapist, which is a gaming website known for being contrarian fucking pieces of shit and having bad opinions about basically everything, is my experience with them. This 3.5-star review, which becomes a score of 70, which, if you go to Metacritic, is the only mixed review for the game. 39 positive reviews, 1 mixed review, 0 negative.
Wait, not 75?
Nope, just a 70, according to Metacritic. And his review is the most contrarian bullshit you'll ever read. Which, I'm saying that, but, he raises some decent points about, all the characters as completely unlikable scumbags. Which, you know what? So are the characters in Payday 2, but that doesn't invalidate the story. His argument is that because you're playing as such scumbags and just committing all these heinous acts, that it gets boring after a while. Which, at that point, you're invalidating all of video games, so I don't know what you're really doing in this industry, duder, but, whatever. It's giving it a 70 for the story, which is his only complaint, by the way. You want to talk about Carolyn's only complaint being the misogyny? Tito's only complaint, Greg's only complaint, is that the story makes you feel bad because you're killing the people with the guns like you've been doing in all the Grand Theft Auto games.
It probably should. You're supposed to be a fucking scumbag.
It's supposed to be... Look, you're supposed to be a fucking scumbag. It's not supposed to make you feel good about violence. It's supposed to make you feel like, oh, there are consequences for this shit. The cops are coming after me, now I'm gonna die, now I have to start over. That's how GTA incentivizes not being a piece of fucking shit 24/7 in the game. Apparently, it doesn't work for some people, but that's not Rockstar's fault at that point.
Yeah.
But I mention it because it has been receiving a fair amount of backlash, this review, and yet still not nearly as much as a fucking 90 out of 100. That people have a greater issue with Caroline's review than they do with Greg's review, which... I guess that could partially be because GameSpot is a much bigger website than The Escapist will ever hope to be. That's a valid point, but still.
Who the fuck's Greg Tito? Is he like that Hawaiian guy?
So...
He's like from the Nickelodeon show,
Yeah.
That's right!
That should be the image for this podcast.
It might be. Holy shit. Rocket Power, catch it on Nickelodeon, buy it on DVD, Blu-ray maybe.
Coming soon.
GBA, remember those fucking GBA carts that had you could watch the episodes
UMDs
of fucking Rocket Power or
UMDs.
Rugrats on your GBA? Holy shit. Remember the 90s?
If you're a 90s kid, like this video.
Please do. So, before we move on, I just want to bring up one view in particular. We mentioned the backlash against Carolyn. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I really am. I respect this lady a lot, and I probably should take the time to learn the pronunciation of her name. I'm sorry.
Carolinal. Is that?
I think you might be made out of
Names are hard. I'm just gonna call her C.
So we used to know a guy named Jim. And he decided to split off and start doing his own thing, this old Internet Aristocrat series. And he recently put out a video, which is more like a temper tantrum, called Anita and the White Knights. And the video itself doesn't really touch upon the GTA.
That is exactly what he sounds like.
That's weird. I was in a neo-Nazi band called Anita and the White Knights.
Was Jim the bassist for this band?
I don't know, because we were all wearing hoods, so I couldn't tell.
Would one of them sound whiny?
Or if he's playing bass, I don't know.
Did one of them have a huge bong he's taking rips from all the time?
In the middle of videos?
Yeah.
So the video itself is pretty unspectacular. It's Jim talk about how games are my hobby! Girls are trying to take it away from me! His literal closing argument in the video is that girls whining about games and representation games is going to be the death of the industry. Which, no, I don't really. How would that even work? Like I said, girl gamers.
I still think it's Japan's fault. So
it's Japan. We know this now.
Fucking
Japan.
That and mobile games. Mobile games are gonna be
Japanese mobile games.
Think of all the things we have said over history that would be the death of games, and how none of them came true. And this one is just his own bullshit opinion that no one else has taken up. No one is making this argument besides him. But anyway, that's the video. It's about Anita Sarkeesian and, you know what, the recent developments on her apparently not being much of a gamer before making the series, which, you know, are valid criticisms of her.
Yeah.
We have said before that Anita...
Stop
not to talk
paying
about her.
attention
Not to
to
talk
her.
about her. I'm sorry. I know this was a bullet point last time, but yes. Hate her, not the movement
This is
itself.
going to be the Finn. Like, she's going to get brought up every podcast. even
At
when
this
we're not
point, at this
trying
fucking
to.
point, don't hate her. But, like, you know, take your criticisms up with her, not with the females and games movement.
Yeah.
But I mentioned this video because there were some comments on it. One by Jim, who pretty much encapsulates the whole movement I was talking about earlier. People complaining about fucking review scores. Caroline Petit. It was her that listed under the bad section of the review that the game was profoundly misogynistic. It got a 9 out of 10, and the negatives that affected the fucking score was misogyny. Yeah, what's 90 out of 100 is still like a really good score. I don't get it. What's he complaining about? God,
Review scores are fucking
guys,
hard.
what's he complaining about? Does he work for Rockstar? Does Jim work for Rockstar? Does he care that much about the fucking review?
I know it. He does.
Is that why he
totally.
No,
cares
but
about
he
the
did
review
used to work
scores?
for DMC Design.
Oh.
That's DMA design,
Oh, shit.
not DMC
Sorry, I
design.
forgot
That's
that.
that's the rap group.
So that seems to pretty much encapsulate it. Oh, then some other person responded to him saying, Caroline Petit, you mean the tranny reviewer? And then Jim responded playfully, you know, very tastefully, like, oh, watch your male privilege. They're so funny. I'm so sad that they're gone. It's such a sadness in my heart that they're no longer with us, bringing such a respectable, smart opinions to the table, really know about gaming, really fucking authority on the issue, and just a great guy to be around. So, let's move on to... Oh, great, this is... I thought we were gonna get out of the whole females in game. Okay, yeah, you know what, fuck it, let's go for it. Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid 5 has a character named Quiet.
Yeah.
Bag, you know more about this than I do, but... So
Kind of,
you-
yeah. So, a news story came out where Hideo Kojima, you know, the man he is, he likes to say stuff, and mentioned how he had changed the character design of Quiet to be more sexy, partly because he gave a couple of reasons. One was like he wanted cosplayers to like it, and then apparently there's some like great story revelation that will explain it that we can't hear about, and then people went mental, which, you know, like at a certain extent they have to be. That's a crappy reason to want to change a character design.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came out and mentioned like, no, we meant a different word, and you know they probably did because, you know, Japanese language is complicated at a certain point. Like they use English words for words, and a lot of their words like don't directly translate. And there's like loads of weird stuff flowing around this, like people who, like the guy who worked on Halo 4 saying, this is terrible, you can't just design characters to be sexy.
Yeah, I know. Cortana, the
No.
most, you know, the
I've
best, most
Yeah.
under-sexualized character in the
Yeah, it
history
hasn't
of gaming.
like slowly got like more sexualized and
Yeah,
toned over
like in the first game where
franchise.
she had like short hair, and then the second one she had long hair, you know, and then like by the fourth game her tits are like fucking in orbit or something like that. It's just
which, like,
ridiculous.
That's, you know, hey, I'm a guy, I like that, that's fine. But you can't, you know, you can't like play the fiddle while... That's not a saying, is it?
Just say it anyway. Complete your thought. I want to hear this.
I know
When
you
make
can't
this-
play the fiddle while claiming to master the loot.
What?
I don't know what saying I'm thinking of. I'm kind of hungry.
Well, we're gonna start saying that from now on, so hopefully it'll catch on. Then retroactively, that won't sound like complete fucking horse shit.
Yeah, no.
So continue.
No, some people have pointed out, like, this is not the first time Hideo Kojima has kind of done this. Like, Metal Gear Solid 1 involves multiple instances of running into Meryl wearing, like, no pants. And, you know, there's, like, characters that, like, most of their characters are sexualized. You know, there's Beauty and the Beast, which was, like, he got a bunch of models and made characters out of them.
Mm-hmm.
No, admittedly, he's also, you know, like, made games where multiple times male characters have been naked, male characters have kissed, there have been gay characters, there have been bisexual characters. So, I don't know. I kind of can't be mad because at a certain point, like, I don't think sex ever comes to Hideo Kojima in the same way it does every other person.
I think you may
Like-
be right about that. I think
like,
like,
I don't
he's
think-
not thinking about it like that. He's not thinking about it as like a masturbatory aid.
No.
I really don't think he is. I think At the same time, though, like, I can understand why people take issue with this. I can.
Yeah, it
'Cause-
is kind of bad. It's a fun and like fishnet tights with holes in them.
Ghost in the
yeah.
Shell is an anime, a very well-respected anime, which in hindsight, in retrospect, was pretty gross about some shit.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah,
excuse
no.
is that the bare skin becomes camouflage. That's right. That's what Quiet's whole shtick is that because her skin, she's
Oh
wearing
yeah,
so
because
little
none of it's
clothes,
real. Yeah.
none of her skin is
Yeah.
real, and it becomes camouflage. Which, you know, that was the same exact excuse they use in Ghost in the Shell, where their camouflage, like, only
Yeah.
worked if they were completely naked. If Mogato,
Makoto.
Kusuragi.
Yeah,
I know the
Kusuragi,
last
yeah.
name, but I don't know the fucking first name. Great.
Well, that's fine because in Japan you don't have to say that. It's fine.
That's true. Yep.
Yeah.
So, and you know what? As much as I liked Ghost in the Shell, I'm not the biggest anime fan, but you know what? Ghost in the Shell was kind of
Yeah.
cool. But that part with it, you know, always did sort of stand out.
Standalone Complex was worse because her default outfit, her mid outfit, was a leotard and a jacket.
Yep.
And there's very specifically an episode where her body gets damaged and she's wearing like other clothes and it's like a vest,
Yep.
and kind of hot pants. And the character's like, "Oh, you're not wearing much," which is like ironic because she's actually wearing more clothes now. So I don't know. Maybe in the future, like naked is the opposite.
So Japan has a weird understanding of sexuality. We know this as a nation. Fuck Japan.
Japan, you bastards.
So yeah, you know what? I don't want to take either side on this because I think at some point the reaction to it may be slightly overblown. There's definitely a legitimate criticism in there. There's no need for it to be this. This character does not need to be designed this way. But on the other hand,
Yeah.
I really want to side with Kojima. I really like Kojima. I want to plead ignorance on his behalf. I want to say that it's not the way he's thinking about it, and he's not thinking about how fans will think about it either. He's just thinking about like, here's an idea.
I don't think he ever does that. I
Here's
don't think he ever gives a shit. Like, he completely changed the voice actor for Snake.
he made Raiden the main character in Metal Gear Solid 2. This is a man who just has ideas and he puts them in the game.
Yeah.
And then people buy his games and he doesn't give a shit.
And
It's
I
like
gotta
fucking
respect the dude
genius.
for that. But you know what? Yes, I will see your argument against it, and I will accept it, and I will weigh it against the fact that this man is not thinking the way that you think he's thinking, probably. But you know what? There's still legitimate criticism in there. There's still someone that should have come along the line at some point and said, "Hey, Kojima, maybe don't do this," and he maybe should have listened to them. I don't know.
Yeah, and probably like not have said that as well.
And not have said all the shit that got said. So I don't know. That's just a thought, just some food for thought there.
Yeah.
I want to see
Don't
what
say
this
food. I'm
huge...
really hungry.
So we're close to the last section. So hopefully,
Yeah, we're getting there.
We'll be eating soon enough. Let's move on to wait, hold on. What's this? Oh, I'm looking at the channel news section, and it says no channel news. Fuck off.
Fair enough.
Which okay. You know what? There is some channel news, but it's nothing we want to announce yet. We have some stuff coming up though. Stuff that you should maybe be excited about. Because we're definitely excited about it. But we're already going over time, and we don't want to talk about it here. And you'll see it soon enough. You will see some stuff soon enough that might just blow your motherfucking mind. So look forward to that shit. In the meantime, though, we will move to our final section, the most beloved section,
Mm-hmm.
the YouTube video picks of the week month.
YouTube video of the week.
Good luck.
Oh, sorry. Shit.
So what happened there?
I don't know. My sample went all dubstep on me.
Was there a soundbite for channel news?
There's no channel news.
There is no channel news. There's no soundbite.
Yeah.
Duh.
I'm not playing.
I'm out of this podcast.
No channel news, no deal. Delete my recording.
The pics are gonna be ruined.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm back.
Phew. Thank God. Couldn't have done without you. My video pick of the week is a music video. Sometimes I like to share my music recommendations. I'll recommend a band to you. This is outside of my YouTube video, the pick of the week, but I've been listening to a lot of Baby Metal recently.
Oh yeah, you fucker. First saw that, lost, creeped out, couldn't comprehend. I didn't know left from free.
But then I kept shoving it in your
it.
face, and
Yeah,
eventually...
you bet. And now
Now you're into them too! Yes! I win! I did it! Fuck yes.
I don't know what it is about it. Like, still, like the Japanese idol culture still creeps me out.
Yep.
Fuck you, Japan.
Fucking
Creeping
Japan,
out.
man.
But like, because I feel like there's innocence to it, but I feel like there probably isn't somewhere in the world, and that's probably what is like deep down inside me is bothering me.
Baby Metal is a
Music's pretty
band
good.
that is has 3 like female idols. You know, the whole idol culture in Japan, but they're doing metal, hence the name
Yeah.
Baby Metal. And it is fucking juxtaposition. It is some contrast. It is a fucking sight to behold. And you know what? I sort of unironically like it for its musical value at this point, which I wasn't expecting as a person who's like
Yeah.
a metal connoisseur, so to speak, the metal expert among us. I wasn't expecting. You know, I saw the first video, the Headbanger music video, and I'm like, this is kind of silly. I like this for being silly. But then the more I rewatched it and listened to it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's actually something going on here. There's something like legitimate to this. But today's
Yeah,
my YouTube
not talking
video
about Japan today. It's not.
That's
the
enough
theme.
talk about Japan. Done. Next person to mention Japan is gonna get a pan to the head, frying pan, knock you over the head with it. Pow.
Oh.
Goodbye, Fake Friends by Tony is a music video by Tony for a song titled Bye Fake Friends. It is a song about fake friends and how he doesn't need them in his life. Goodbye, fake friends. You know what I'm saying.
Is he Japanese?
No,
No.
thank God he's not. Otherwise, I couldn't mention him here. I'd be going against my own rules. Check it out.
Why is he writing on the concrete?
Because his fake friends put him up to it, and
Yeah.
then they were laughing behind the camera while they're recording him do it. And he said, and he noticed, he's like,
And he
"Oh,
knew.
no, fake friends, goodbye, fake friends, deuces."
Well, wait a minute. He says, "Be aware, my song may give you cancer."
What? Did you write that in the description? Did he?
He has that in description.
That must have been a recent edition.
Maybe that's like
Be
to the
aware.
fake friends, like if they listen, pretending to be his friend.
Look, if you pretend to be Tony's friend, no telling what's going to happen to you down the line.
Yeah.
Because Tony don't fuck around.
Well,
He
shit.
will vogue
Yeah.
at you.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if you wake up with a pair of concrete boots. That's what I'm saying.
Tony, basically what we're saying is that Tony goes hard.
Is that his last name Soprano?
I think it might be. Or Cipriano. Grand Theft Auto 5.
Don't
In stores
Cipriano.
So that's my video pick of the week. What do you have, Bag?
So my pick is a Japanese video. Oh fuck!
Fuck, damn it!
Fuck!
No, exception. Do it quickly.
Okay, so I don't know what this video is called. A guy helped me out. He translated at least the words gorilla and amigo, and at least one person in the video says samba. So there's kind of like a Mediterranean Latino kind of vibe to this video.
Like a Samba de Amigo. That game had
Yeah,
monkeys
it's
in
like
it.
very samba stuff. This video is amazing. This channel is gonna fucking go places. These people are geniuses. I don't know what they're saying, but I'm still loving it. Like
I can't see the video.
Hold on, did it go down again?
it did. Please don't say it went down again.
This video is private.
Okay, I know what's up with this channel. Every other week they privatize all their videos. So
What, like healthcare? Like what?
I don't fucking know. I have no idea with these people. Keep the link because this has happened before.
Okay.
And I should have just fucking have downloaded the video, put it on the Daffer Cat, but I'm sure it will come back up. I will investigate again and see
Please
what's
do.
going on. Hopefully it'll be back up because the world needs that video.
And close the
And-
veil.
and-
No more Japanese talk. That's the end of it.
No more Japanese talk.
None at all. Tag, give us your video
Well,
pick of the
here's-
week, and
here's
so
my
help you
video.
God if it's Japanese.
Well, this is a video made by Heihu42, actually a Japanese boy
Oh.
who makes videos, and he's playing Spelunky.
And it's just Spelunky episode 3 of his Let's Play.
Yeah, man, you should watch it. It's really good.
And you just check it out, for some
Do I
pros.
not need to see 1 and 2 to know what's going on?
I know you should, but I posted episode
Just
3.
post 3 because it's the highlight. It's the
Oh,
highlight.
well, fair enough.
It's the height.
Yeah.
Get hype for the height. And 2 hours. 2 hours and 7 minutes of
We
recording.
did it.
We did it. So that did it. That's done. That's the longest episode yet. They keep getting longer. Next episode, tune in for the next episode, which is going to be 3 hours long, probably, at this
I have
rate.
to talk about
Tune in
Talk
for the
about going
10th
to the
episode,
gym.
which will be about 3 days long.
It's gonna go like gradually just longer and longer with each successive episode.
To the point where we are recording the next episode while recording the previous episode because it's taken so long.
For all you listeners to episode 26, this is going to apply to you, but then stay tuned. We're also talk episode 27 talk coming up.
It's a taped podcast.
Pre-taped call-in show.
Oh.
That should be my backup. My second video pick of the week is Mr. Show, pre-taped call-in show. Watch that.
In case, any more videos go down. It will be back, I fucking promise you.
But,
Fuck you, Japan, removing that.
That's right. That would be Japan's fault. Fuck you,
Japan.
Japan. Fuck.
Knew it. Japan is cause of all of our problems.
AAA Entertainment.
Do you have an audio clip to end the show?
Yeah, no, let's just bring it out.
Let's just bring it out. Let's wheel it out.
Yeah. It is the end of the podcast now. It was really fun to do. I spent a long time thinking up the words to this song. Yes, I did. I stayed up all night to record this song for you and me and she and he and my dad. He really likes anime.
What a nice note to end it on. Hold on, there's someone at the door here. Let me just look through the people over here. Oh my god, guys. It's Japan.
Oh, fuck.
It's the Tokyo police. It is Tokyo Gore police. They've come.
No!
Guys, get out of here.
Now we need to cancel.
Get to the safe house. Get to the safe house. I'll be with you soon.
We know you're in there, James Haberman.
Fucking... I wasn't expecting them to find us this quickly. I was expecting the episode to go up first, but they must have heard us. They must have been wiretapping us.
No, God, what the fuck?
They must have been wiretapping us with the NSA.
You're not supposed to talk on the cell phone.
We're worried about the NSA, but it's Japan we should have been worried about. Fuck you, Japan!
Fucking Japan.
Japan? Fucking